What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here and you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, that's gonna make us question everything. Seekers, sit back. Let's do what we do best, Seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Let's seek the truth.
Investors on growing brainless clones of your body. This is so that you can transplant your brain into a younger version of yourself. This isn't science fiction. This is a company with billionaire funding in Richmond, California. The company is called R3 Bio. Publicly, they say that they're building non-sentient monkey organ sacs as alternatives to animal testing. But MIT Technology Review uncovered that they've actually been pitching behind closed doors. Full body replacement cloning. Grow a cloned human body without a brain, transfer your brain into it, and live again. Founder John Schloenborn presented a session called Full Body Replacement at a $70,000 a ticket longevity conference in Boston last September. About 40 people in the room, no recording, Tim Draper invested, and a Singapore fund called Immortal Dragons invested. The company says that they have successfully produced mice without complete brains. Now, it's important to note, they haven't cloned anything bigger than a rodent, and the science is nowhere near close to ready, but the money is flowing in, and the pitch is already landing. That literally is the plot of The Island, where clones are grown as an insurance policy for the wealthy, kept alive in a facility, and harvested when the original needs a new organ or a new body. The science isn't ready, but the justification already is. If you want to stay updated on more dystopian tech news, then sign up for my free newsletter through the link in my bio. But as always, think about it, let me know what you think, and follow me.
That is crazy, bro. He just growing brainless clones, man. Doing soul transfers, bro. That's that natural at all, man. They don't mess up the whole freaking human process, bro. Just so they can live longer, man. By doing unnatural things, bro. Eating foes. Those look crazy. It's part of the files that drop. It looks like something out of a movie, bro.
These are photos of you in 1996 and 2019. Are you aware that you have not aged?
No, I've aged.
Okay.
I have aged.
Are you a vampire?
No, I've aged. How can you be a vampire?
Just answer.
That was 2019. Now look at us today and listen to what she just told this podcast. Pay attention to the details.
On behalf of every woman in the world, can you please ask her how she still looks so good?
Red light. That and the blood of a 19-year-old.
Red light therapy, sure. Most people use that, especially people in Hollywood. The second part, about the vitality of a 19-year-old, that is specific. Look, people online claim that she is the queen of dry humour. She knows the internet thinks she is immortal. So is she feeding the trolls? But when a major star says the exact thing people have been posting about for years, is it a joke? She's 50 and she looks about 30s, I'd say. Is it good genes, the red light mask? Or is there a reason she keeps bringing up all this vampire stuff? You tell me. Let me know thoughts and comments down below.
Weird.
A better version of yourself.
And in the meantime, big nose.
Sabrina Hillary Clinton.
Perfect.
They do look alike though.
Unlocks your DNA, starting with
I mean, younger.
that will release another version of yourself. This is the substance.
Everybody worrying about Instagram deleting bots, and your ass is gonna wind up getting locked up after Friday. In case you forgot, Instagram put it out there that they will be reading everybody's DMs after May 8th. You heard what I just said? Instagram is about to start reading your DMs after May 8th. And everything that you thought you was getting away with in them DMs is gonna be exposed. So starting May 8th, Meta is getting rid of end-to-end encryption. And if you don't know what that is, that means the messages that you've been sending that you ain't supposed to be sending, they know about every last one of them. End-to-end encryption was protecting you from getting your ass jammed up. They were scrambling your messages so nobody else could read them. May 8th, that shit is gone. Meta already said, if you want that end-to-end encryption, if you want your messages protected, you need to go on WhatsApp. Other than that, your messages is now their messages. And your messages just might be the police messages too. And don't let nobody tell you, oh, they just gonna use your messages to train AI. They've been doing that. And we already know what AI do. Once AI sees some suspect shit, you already know what's gonna happen, right? They're gonna alert the authorities and your ass is getting locked up. You see Instagram be doing shit, but now I'm figuring they doing this shit for a reason. Earlier today, they made sure that no bots ain't on this app. They deleted everybody's bots. All those fake accounts is gone. So guess what? When Friday get here, May 8th, they know who's sending messages. It ain't the fake accounts. It's your accounts. Pay attention.
I
Is
will.
Earth gonna lose its gravity for 7 seconds about 3 months from now? Yeah, you heard me right. Yeah, is the whole planet Earth, gonna lose gravity for 7 seconds on August 12th? Well, I first heard that a few months ago, but now NASA is responding. And they said no, it won't happen. The Earth won't lose gravity, even for a short span like 7 seconds. Now, you know me, I'm curious, so I was kind of wondering. I first heard this theory about Earth losing gravity in August for 7 seconds back in January.
Me too.
Yeah, January. And now NASA responds to it? What's that? 3.5 months later? So experts at NASA have denied the claim that Earth will lose its gravity, which is something called Project Anchor, a project that NASA now says doesn't exist. I'm not saying they ever said it existed, but now they're saying it doesn't. Okay, I don't personally think the Earth is going to lose gravity for 7 seconds come August. But then again, what the heck do I know? My question is, why did NASA wait all this time to answer the question? Why didn't they just keep saying nothing about this Project Anchor? If it's not real and it's not going to happen, I don't know. This is just kind of a little curious to me. Let me know your opinion down in the comment section. Shabadoo Moochkies, Shabadoo.
August 12th, man. We won't be ready, bro. Like they said that NASA denied that about Project Anchor, so they're saying that that's not gonna happen. Earth losing gravity for like 7 seconds. The world will go freaking total chaos, man. So they denied it, but still, I'm gonna be ready August 12th, though. I'm actually marked on my calendar, man. I'm gonna be ready no matter what. He's putting on like a skin suit? He is. Blending in, bro. That's how they blend into society, man. He looks like a real person, bro.
An AI school with no teachers is set to open in Chicago this year, where students will learn core subjects like science, math, and reading. From a robot, though. Parents, what y'all think about this? I ain't gonna lie, this ain't right. It's bad enough that the teachers... Okay, I ain't gonna do that. But this is bad enough that how everything is right now. We don't need no robot teaching our kids anything.
We really don't.
This is how I look at it. Who taught the robot? Who programmed the robot to learn these things? Because if you technically think about it, everything that the robot knows potentially is online. This just don't make no sense. They're really trying to replace everybody and everybody's jobs with AI robots. And I'm telling y'all, this ain't gonna work. It's not gonna be successful. I'm trying to tell you. What y'all gonna do if your kid go to class and that robot's supposed to be teaching your kid and that robot the battery end up dying on that robot. Then what's gonna happen? You gonna call for a substitute robot, or you gonna call for a real person? Man, stop trying to do all this stuff with AI, man. We got enough people that's teachers and that still want to be teachers. We're not lacking on teachers. Like, come on now. We don't need no robot. Y'all let me know what y'all think. And for it to start in Chicago was crazy work. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments about this. I don't like it. Like it for all of them.
We really don't need more robot teachers, man. Like he said, more human teachers. Obviously, like I said, I think he said, it's actually, people they want to teach, man, but maybe they need to know. They need to actually know. This is fact. We know they need to up the teachers' pay, man. They be dealing with a lot, but man, the system, they're never gonna freaking do that. But the first freaking robot teachers coming to Chicago, we're gonna see how that's gonna play out, man. And if that works, they're gonna try to implement it in other freaking states, other places, man. So just be ready, be on the lookout.
Messages for Dave's Killer Bread and Dave's Killer Bread only. I don't know. Actually, this is a public service announcement, maybe. I was just about to feed a sandwich to my daughter when I was cutting the crust off of the sandwich, and there's actual wood chips in the loaf.
What the hell?
And at first I was gaslighting myself. I was like, maybe it's some sort of like grain or oat or something. But no, it's for sure a wood chip, and they're like all throughout this bread. And I've gone through like literally the entire loaf now feeling for it. I thought it was just in one piece, not that that makes it better. But there's literal wood chips throughout our whole loaf of bread. So check your Dave's Killer Bread for wood chips, because my daughter was literally half a second from eating a sandwich. Thank God I cut it where I did cut it, because if I cut it anywhere else, we wouldn't have noticed. But even small pieces like this, like I was like, maybe that's an oat or something. No, it's like shredded bits of wood all throughout our loaf of bread. Do with that what you will.
Thanks for the heads up.
I'd like to introduce you to the idea of water as an intelligent designer. Here I exposed water to my friend's photo, removed and froze using a special method, and it designed her face. I showed the ice result to the water, and it designed a negative of her face. I briefly placed my thumb in the water and then froze it, and water designed a thumb with a chip in the nail. I chipped my nail in exactly the same place 3 hours later. Here I used a conceptual word of ego. It's a word I have no visual for, which removes any mental projection, and water designed a person with big shoulders, a small face, and a giant balloon head. I used the word milk as an influence, and water designed a breast. I wasn't thinking of human milk, so this was a surprise. You notice that the ice designs are not photocopies of the influence, but more of an interpretation, and to me, this is clear display of some kind of awareness.
They have officially started releasing the UFO files. The Pentagon, the FBI, NASA, and the State Department just dropped 162 classified documents.
Finally.
And some of them are insane. Some of these files are photos and audio from the Apollo 12 and the Apollo 17 missions taken from the moon while astronauts were standing on it. They show lights in the sky that the crew could not explain, and one of them said that it looked like the 4th of July up there. Their best explanation for what was going on is that it was ice or paint from the rocket, but they literally said that that was a wild guess. Dude, these are files from the Apollo missions. They saw lights in the sky while they were walking on the moon. Holy shit. 108 of the files actually still have redactions, but the Pentagon basically just said to make up your own minds. Yeah, but this right here is just the first batch, and trust me, I'm gonna have more updates soon. And people are taking this so seriously right now that on Kalshi right now, millions of dollars are betting on whether the fact the government is going to confirm that aliens exist before 2027. I am going to be here every single time that new files drop, and trust me, there is going to be more coming soon, so make sure you add me now so you don't miss it.
Man, those files are freaking crazy, bro. Some of those short clips he showed us, but the fact that he said that the people on the Apollo 12 missions, man, and they saw some lights saying it looked like the 4th of July up there. Could that have been some alien activity, bro? That they just couldn't see with their human eyes, man? Like you said, they're leaving it up to us for interpretation, so everybody, we gonna say aliens, man. Like I said, I wonder, man, by that predict, are they gonna really confirm aliens before 2027, man? Crazy, man. Seekers, tell me down below, man, if you guys want me to find some more freaking of those clips that they dropped, because I can find them for you.
Although there are residents in Crowell, Texas who are literally being forced to live with constant artificial daylight because of an AI data center that is being built right next to them. Their nights are just gone. This facility runs 24/7 with intense lighting that turns the sky bright all night long. I'm going to plug in a picture. Plus a non-stop mechanical hum that allegedly never shuts off. And this isn't like just annoying or inconvenient, right? Like it actually messes with people psychologically. Your body depends on darkness to produce melatonin, and that is the hormone that tells you when it's time to sleep. And when it's always bright, your brain gets confused, right? People start dealing with insomnia and anxiety and chronic fatigue, even depression, right? You're basically living in like a constant state of jet lag in your own home. And it's not just humans either, right? Like wildlife is getting completely thrown off too. Animals that rely on nighttime, total dark, to hunt or to migrate or to rest, they suddenly don't have that anymore. And what's happening in this tiny rural town is starting to happen all over the country, right? People living near these massive data centers are complaining about the same things, the constant noise and the light pollution and the environmental disruption. Also, AI can run 24/7, I guess, and it's somehow always small rural towns that end up paying the price for it. And so, as a Georgia resident, it is especially important for me to spread this message because I'm really freaking worried that we could be next.
What do you mean IShowSpeed was just betrayed by his childhood best friend after Speed was unknowingly put on live stream by his friend? So last night IShowSpeed was hanging out with his childhood most bestest friends when IShowSpeed's friend decided to go live without Speed's knowledge. And this is where it gets more worser. A few days ago we already saw IShowSpeed forget to end his live and we saw the real side of IShowSpeed. Some people calling this normal speed. But when IShowSpeed found his friend's camera, it was live. IShowSpeed's friend literally didn't even give him like a real warning. He was going live and it completely compromised their entire meal. I'm pretty sure that IShowSpeed even had to leave the restaurant. Now, a lot of people were happy that they got to see normal speed. I think it's pretty messed up for IShowSpeed's friend to be doing this. And even more sadder, as soon as IShowSpeed noticed the camera was live instead of just recording for like a vlog, IShowSpeed made his friend turn off the camera. And you could tell that IShowSpeed was angry at his friend. And a lot of people are saying that IShowSpeed shouldn't have been so mean to him. I wish I was IShowSpeed's best friend. I'd literally listen to everything he has to say. Do you think his best friend just wanted clout?
Put out a snack bin for people who deliver my packages. These are not those people.
They're definitely not. Come on, man. Don't do that. Not you going back, bro. I ain't leave him nothing.
2 hours later.
Oh, they diabolical, man. They know those snacks ain't for them. Get your own damn crap, bro.
The next night.
They keep going and going. I'm opening that damn door. I said, what the hell are y'all doing? Does it look like it's for you? They didn't even take one. Me and Curtis, they kept going back, bro. The fact that she doubled back, man, is crazy, bro. See, tell me down below what you guys doing.
These hikers suddenly realize the volcano behind them is erupting. You can see them racing to get away from Indonesia's Mount Tukono, a massive 33,000-foot ash cloud blasting into the sky. Officials say this group ignored an active climbing ban, hiking straight for one of the country's most active volcanoes. Rescuers say several hikers are dead, others injured. Several foreign tourists were climbing the mountain. Authorities detected emergency SOS signals as survivors scrambled through falling ash and volcanic rock. Tukono has erupted nearly 200 times since late March, and now Indonesian officials are investigating what they call possible negligence, and they're asking why tourists were somehow still allowed onto the mountain despite repeated warnings.
That gala, man, is weird. You definitely see some weird outfits, man, getting pulled off of the Met Gala. That's for sure. It's like covering her eye. Is that a real person? You never know, man. What the hell is she wearing? Okay. I can feel like some dark energy from those outfits. I have no idea who that is, man. Aren't you supposed to know these people who attend the Met Gala?
17 earthquakes have been reported coming from Area 51 specifically over the past couple of days. Now, this is pretty unprecedented and weird, right? The USGS recorded around 16 to 17 earthquakes in a tight cluster, roughly 28 miles east of Area 51 near Alamo, Nevada. The largest was a magnitude 4.4 quake that struck at a very shallow depth of around 4 kilometers, 2.5 miles underground. It was followed by dozens of aftershocks, mostly in the 1.5 to 3.7 range. More than 100 people reportedly feeling the shaking effects of the earthquakes itself. The quakes were usually shallow for the region. Most earthquakes there are deeper in the 6 to 12 mile range, which is what caught attention and sparked online speculation that we are seeing currently at the minute. For a remote desert area with normally low seismic activity, a swarm of 17 plus events in 24 to 48 hours stands out and qualifies as a cluster and swarm, which is very strange. Now, is there some strange testing going on over there? Because we know that they have detonated things under the Earth's surface in previous history. So is there some strange things going on with the current climate of what's been coming out recently? Are they doing some funky tests underground again to do with nuclear or something more maybe? Or they might be moving materials. I don't know.
Their plan with inflation is simply backfiring. It's really already backfiring. They like, you want to raise the price on the rent? Cool, I'll go steal my mom. We'll help pay off the house and we'll just live as a family. You want to raise the gas prices? Cool, I'll walk or I'll just go ahead on and put me some skates on and get my exercise in. You want to raise the grocery store item prices? Cool, I'll just go ahead on and start me a garden and grow my own food. You want me to pay property taxes for the land? Cool, I'll just do van life and go travel all around the world to different countries. People is not putting up with this no more. This matrix shit is really changing, it's shifting. It's okay to go against the norm because this was never the norm for us in the beginning anyway. The norm is us just living life peacefully. We should just be walking around grabbing apples and oranges off the trees and just eating. We shouldn't be stressed, worrying about our nervous system, worrying about things that don't really matter, you know?
Preach, bro. She was breaking it down, man. She really provided a solution for all those, you know, plans with what's happening with inflation, bro. She broke it down, man. I could have said it better myself.
Shit makes zero fucking sense. You got health officials saying the Hansa virus is a low risk to start a big outbreak. But why are they monitoring 5 states in the U.S. right now? The 5 states that they're monitoring close right now is California, Georgia, Texas, Arizona, and Virginia. But again, low risk though. I'm just trying to understand why the hell would they let them come back to the States? That don't seem suspicious to y'all? They're saying, oh, don't worry, these people are asymptomatic. They're not showing no symptoms. Bro, we heard this all before. I say all that to say this. If you're in any of those states that I just named, I would just be on alert. I'll stay prepared for anything. And I will stay away from people that I think are sick. Oh, just be extra careful, bro. Wash your damn hands.
Please.
One of the strangest things I've seen in an earthquake pattern. But first, I want to show you what a very normal looking pattern is. Here's Antofagasta, Chile. You can see there's earthquakes here constantly. Yeah, they're spread out all along the fault line. Now let's have a look at these quakes that are occurring in the bottom. They're all coming from the exact same point, almost like a perfect bullseye. Makes you wonder if this is some type of explosion, if it's some type of nuclear testing. Also, the primary wave should be smaller. The secondary wave should be larger. So this has the characteristics of some type of explosion. I actually think if it's an explosion, there shouldn't be any secondary wave at all. I could be wrong about that. I'm not an expert. Just know that it looks odd compared to the other earthquakes we've seen. Maybe a seismologist or geophysicist will chime in the comments and let us know exactly what's going on. Or if you happen to live in Nevada or know something about it, please comment below.
Korea's army helped scientists build a spray that stops severe bleeding in 1 second, and the science behind how it works is genuinely fascinating. When someone gets shot or is in a serious accident, the standard response is to press bandages and apply pressure to hold the wound still. But with deep wounds, that is almost impossible to do effectively. So, Korean scientists created AGCL, a spray-on powder that solidifies and seals a wound in just 1 second by using your own body's biology to switch itself on. Here is where it gets remarkable. Sea cucumbers have a natural superpower where they can shift their bodies from soft and flexible to completely rigid in under a second when threatened. And the scientists essentially replicated that mechanism. AGCL is made from seaweed, bacteria, and crustacean cells. And the moment it contacts blood, the calcium already in your body activates the powder, causing it to instantly gel, clot, and seal the wound. And if content like this is what you have been looking for, hit follow and drop a like, because this is exactly what this channel covers. In preclinical trials, it sealed liver injuries, which are some of the hardest wounds to stop bleeding from, and new blood vessels and collagen began forming almost immediately after. 10 years ago, deep wound care in the field meant pressure, prayer, and hoping the ambulance arrived in time. Now a single spray could be sitting in every ambulance, first aid kit, and soldier's bag. What do you think this changes first, battlefield medicine or everyday emergency care? Let me know in the comments and follow my page for more.
This is why BYDs are not allowed in America, because if they were, it would destroy their car market. And this is why. BYD did something completely different. They didn't just build one new car. They created an entire new lineup called Formula. One platform, a smaller sedan, a full-size luxury sedan, a shooting brake that is about to meet us, and a concept supercar. You can say they're all the same car, but with different identities. Name me one brand that is other than Chinese who does this. Low, wide, aggressive. This one doesn't look like a typical BYD, because it's not. And they take it further. This is their concept supercar, the Formula X. 80% of it is production ready. Active aero, carbon body, full-on supercar. Look at that long nose, the long L113, which is from the center of the wheel to the pedal. That's super long, it's super gorgeous. Then we come back to the sedan. You can see, it's the same design language, same DNA. That's why they call it Formula. It is not one car, but a system. And what tech it's got? Fully electric, next-gen blade battery, super fast charging, and advanced driver assist. And Formula is not even their only lineup. This is the Titanium series, Ti 7, and this is the Ti 3. Both of them have the fully electric flash charging version, which is from 10% to 70% in only 5 minutes, even when it's under 30 degrees Celsius out there. It only slows down for 2 minutes. This is their Leopard lineup, the B5 and B8. All serious off-roaders with a LiDAR on the top, which means it's also very high-tech, very autonomous driving. Let me tell you a little secret. The next generation of the B5 and B8 is going to equip with a suspension that is so awesome that even allows them to run on only 3 wheels. This is why BYD is scary for others, because they're not following the industry anymore. They're building their own.
It's crazy, bro.
The creepy last words people said right before dying.
Talk
A nurse
about it.
who wants to remain anonymous said that she had a sweet patient named Ella who started to lose herself to dementia. She started talking to herself. Most of the time, it was playful. She would laugh to herself. One day, the nurse walked into her room and she was in a complete panic. She had her blanket pulled up to her chin and she was completely pale. The nurse went to her bedside to ask her what was wrong, and she said, "There is a woman in black looking in my window, and I am just petrified of her smile." The nurse said that it shook her hard. Reddit user Simple Simon 6262 said that when he was a student, he got called in on a stroke patient. She had coded and they were doing CPR. They worked for 45 minutes. But she died. They cleaned her up and called on her family to say goodbye. By the time her family left, she had been both brain dead and without a pulse for over 45 minutes. He said that blood had filled her brain and she was completely gray and had started to smell. Suddenly, she sat up and called for her family. The nurses rushed to get equipment and monitors back on her. She stabilized, said goodbye to her family, and promptly died a second time. Reddit user AJH1717 said that he works in a cardiovascular surgical ICU. He said that they had a stretch of nights where each corner room of their unit reported seeing a black cat walking around. Not a friendly cat either, apparently. The thing was hissing at them. The accounts were so similar to each other that they probably spent half an hour looking for the cat. Then they had security look as well. No cat was ever seen or found. 2 of those 4 patients coded the next day.
Humans who turned themselves into animals.
Jocelyn Wildenstein wanted to look like a cat. And now looks like this.
What the hell?
Dennis Abner wanted to look like a tiger. And now looks like this.
I didn't even get his nails like that. What the
Eva
hell?
Tiamat Medusa wanted to look like a dragon. And now looks like this. Toko-san wanted to look like a dog. And now looks like this.
Oh, what
Ted
the hell?
Richards wanted to look like a parrot. And now looks like this. Toru Ueda wanted to look like a wolf. And now looks like this.
I know they wanna, you know, people have the interest in things, man, but they taking it to the next level, man, about like trying to get the surgery to actually look like the actual animal or thing they're trying to become. Bro, you think they were like hitting? I guess the more news, more people kind of know about things, stuff like this. Tap in with us, man. You can learn some stuff.
If you are a family influencer or post your child on social media, here are a few things you should never do in my own opinion.
Don't do it.
Number 1, might be common sense, but never post your child in a bathing suit. It's disgusting how many of these Instagram accounts exist that just solely share these types of photos and even have their own groups and communities, so just don't. Number 2, having your very young child's own Instagram page. For example, the LeBrant family. They have an Instagram account for each of their very young children, and just because it's managed by mom and dad does not mean it stops thousands of sick individuals from following the accounts and using their photos for exploitation. Number 3, AI-generated photos are becoming more and more realistic, so think about that before you post a picture of your child eating, crying, or honestly doing anything. When it comes to this type of inappropriate content, people will do anything to get a photo. Honestly, as someone who has talked about true crime stories for over 3 years, I highly suggest you never post your kid on social media. If you have other tips, please comment that down below.
Don't do it. It ain't worth it. Plain and simple. We got some Thomas the Ancient scary facts, bro. Oh man, we all used to watch that, bro.
Scary and haunting facts that'll keep you up at night. While sleeping, we see ghosts in our dreams and suddenly wake up with fear and think it was just a bad dream. According to paranormal experts, it's the virtual reality. They're real spirits communicating with you, but our soul rejects and wakes us up for safety. That is why bad dreams are never completed. In a deep sleep, if you often see your dead relative or friend in your dream, it means their restless soul is actually in your room right now, roaming around you and trying to contact you. According to paranormal investigators, spirits are most active at night and mostly exist in cold air-conditioned rooms. They look and stare at you all night. If you have difficulty trying to fall asleep without any reason, it's a spirit somewhere in your corner staring at you. We actually have a sense to detect a paranormal entity around us. If you feel shivered all of a sudden, it means a spirit just passed through you. If you're home alone and feel like someone is staring at you but find no one after looking, 99% of the time it's a spirit. They want your attention.
This priest tied himself to 1,000 colorful helium balloons and then was found in the ocean months later. On April 20th, 2008, 41-year-old Father Adiller DeCarli wanted to raise money to build a chapel in his hometown, so he chose to tie himself up to 1,000 helium balloons and float over the ocean. He also hoped to break the previous 19-hour record, but unfortunately, things ended tragically. On the morning of April 20th, Father Adiller was fully repaired to take off, and for safety reasons, he put on a helmet, waterproof coveralls, and an aluminum thermal flight suit, as well as a GPS tracker and a radio to communicate with people on the ground. Only a few hours after taking off, despite the radio and GPS tracker, Father Adiller disappeared and could not be located. The last thing that he said through the radio was that he was losing height and was going to land in the ocean. Search and rescue teams were immediately dispatched, and after 2 days, they found the colorful balloons in the sea off Brazil's southeast coast, but Father Adiller was not there. Then, a few months later, a body was found in the ocean, which turned out to be him. It was reported that the priest had reached an altitude of 20,000 feet and then was blown off course by the strong winds, causing his tragic death.
Sometimes in movies, when dogs have to look very mean and threatening, they actually have to redo their tails with CGI because they won't stop wagging because they're doing such a good job acting. When bees run into each other, they actually make like a little whoop sound. Fish are actually able to recognize their owners. There's this weird misconception with people that they think that fish can't see out of the glass of their aquarium, but they actually have surprisingly good eyesight.
Oh, okay. The more you know.
A 12-year-old girl in Tennessee has been charged with murder after she killed her 8-year-old cousin.
Come again?
On July 15th, the 12-year-old reportedly smothered her 8-year-old cousin, Demaria Hollingsworth, to death, then reportedly cleaned up the victim and repositioned her body. Now the 12-year-old is facing murder charges and may even be tried as an adult. 8-year-old Demaria Hollingsworth and her cousin, the 12-year-old whose name has not been released, were visiting family and staying with their grandmother on July 15th, 2024. They reportedly began arguing over an iPhone and were having this disagreement. Then, while Demaria was sleeping on the top bunk of their bed, the 12-year-old allegedly used bedding to fatally smother her to death. Police obtained security footage that shows the murder and shows the victim struggling to survive as the 12-year-old used her entire body weight to put the bedding on top of the victim. The older girl is then seen attempting to clean up and rearrange the body to look like the girl was just sleeping. Demaria was found unresponsive in her bed by her grandmother. 2 days later, the security footage was found, and the older girl was charged with murder. The suspect is now being charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. The DA is seeking to transfer her to the circuit court to be tried as an adult, calling the act, quote, one of the most disturbing violent acts committed by either an adult or a juvenile that my office has prosecuted. 12-year-old is expected to be back in court this week. Rest in peace, Demaria.
This might ruin some people's day. A new study has found that people who believe in astrology are less intelligent and more narcissistic. The team of scientists at Lund University in Sweden wrote, the main results show that the higher the narcissism, perhaps surprisingly, the higher the belief in astrology. The positive association is possibly due to the self-centered worldview uniting them. They added that the higher the level of intelligence was, the lower the belief in astrology was. Such a Taurus thing to say. But the question is, do you think this study is correct?
I was gonna say, see, because you guys believe in astrology, you know, the signs and things like that. I've been seeing that, I know, a couple of times, you know, I hear a couple of people, they be talking about how they like to truly believe in stuff like that. I don't know, man. Tell me down below. I really want to know if you guys are into that.
Videos that can't be explained. The last one is crazy. Can someone explain to me why so many birds were pushed out of the sky?
Ooh.
Would you rather spend one night in this bathroom or kiss the third person who appears when you click share and then more? This woman captured a light orb of some sort on her doorbell camera, and it kept replaying the Sesame Street theme song.
What the hell is that?
Could it have been trying to communicate with us? Only 1% of people can do this. None of you can completely spell your name one letter at a time in the comments below without being interrupted. The first person to do it wins. Before we get to the last scary thing, make sure to support this page by clicking the follow button for more interesting facts every day. Did this guy randomly find a piece of the Ocean Gate submarine that imploded a couple months ago?
Oh,
What is that?
where did you find that?
What's it say?
Oh no.
Ocean Gate. What the
We need to
hell?
turn that in, Cody.
What's it say? Oh, it's part of a helicopter.
No, it ain't.
Whatever.
What the hell? He just threw it
Here are
back.
some fun facts that are not fun, but you should still know about them. Well, Teletubbies is a cute, innocent show for kids, right? No! It's actually based on a mental institute in Bulgaria called La La Land. These kids were locked up for days and people forget to feed them. So Lala's real name was actually Tulip. Her face was so deformed that she looked like she was smiling. She was locked up for so long her face turned yellow, and that's why she was the yellow Teletubby. Next we got the blue Teletubby, based out of a Tolaway, who was really naughty. One day he was punished by staying outside. Because of the cold, he froze to death and he turned blue, and that's why he's the blue Teletubby. Next we got the green Teletubby named Dipsy. He puked and vomited all the time because he was always sick. When he puked on the floor, nobody cleaned it up, so he just lied in his vomit for months. So he got sicker and sicker and he turned green, and that's why he's a green Teletubby. And last we got Po, which actually was my favorite. Her real name was Polia. One day she was playing with mud and she came home really tired, so she fell asleep by the fire. Not knowing it was Po, someone came and thought she was a log and threw her into the fire! And that's how she died.
Damn. Okay, that's an edit right there. We call him out, man.
Ashley Benefield has been convicted of manslaughter in the Black Swan murder trial. Benefield was accused of murdering her estranged husband in September 2020. Doug Benefield was shot to death in Ashley's home on September 27th while he was there helping her pack moving boxes. Ashley claimed self-defense, saying that Doug attacked her and she was afraid for her life. The murder came amidst a contentious custody battle between the two for their then 2-year-old daughter. Benefield's defense in the Black Swan trial claimed that she was trapped in an abusive relationship and acted in self-defense when she shot Doug. They painted Doug Benefield as a manipulative, controlling, and abusive man. The prosecution, on the other hand, accused Ashley of wanting sole custody of her daughter and resorting to murder to get what she wanted. Ashley was initially charged with second-degree murder, and her trial began just last week. After less than a day of deliberations, the jury returned their verdict last night, finding Ashley Benefield guilty of the lesser charge of manslaughter. Ashley now faces up to 30 years in prison. Judge has remanded Ashley to the custody of the Manatee County Sheriff's Office and revoked her $100,000 bond. The sentencing date has yet to be set, but like I said, she faces up to 30 years in prison.
Animal facts will blow your mind right out of your head. Contrary to popular belief, tigers aren't always solo hunters. They hunt in packs a lot, and a pack of tigers is called an ambush, as you can see why. Flamingos are naturally gray. That's their natural color, but they turn pink because of their diet of seafood. The black-footed cat is the most dominant hunter on the planet, despite standing 6 inches tall. There's a crocodile named Gustav that's believed to have killed over 300 people, and he's still out there. Oh, and I guess crocodiles got a new update, and apparently they can climb trees now? The chicken is closer related to the T-Rex than it is any other bird on the planet. There is not one report of an orca ever attacking a human in the wild. Dolphins like to get intoxicated, and they do it by passing around a pufferfish and using its venom. The biggest threat to a porcupine's life is themselves. They like to climb trees, and sometimes they fall and pierce all their quills right through themselves. Under all that fur, polar bears have black skin. It looks like a chupacabra. And the best fact of all, in 2022, the panda status changed from endangered to vulnerable. Go panda!
The most disturbing theory in children's shows. SpongeBob SquarePants. The secret formula to the Krabby Patty is crab meat. This is why the Krusty Krab looks like a crab trap.
So that's what I taste like.
This is why he makes sure nobody knows it. And only Plankton knows. This is also why there is no crabs in the show besides him and his mom.
I'm just now putting that together. Is the Krabby Patty form of really crab meat, bro? That actually makes sense. Whoa.
On
fact of the day that my small brain cannot physically comprehend. This one really did make me say, what the fuck? I want you to do me a favor and pour yourself a glass of water. Do it! Now, there is an immensely high chance that that water you're about to drink is older than the solar system. This is because it existed in ice specks floating in cosmic clouds before any of this shit came to be. Oh, and one more thing. Scientists estimate that every glass of water you drink has 100% passed through a dinosaur. So put immensely bluntly, the most vital thing humans need to survive is Jurassic wee-wee. My brain! Let's make a deal. If you didn't know these facts or they shocked you in any way, you have to share it. Now remind someone to stay hydrated today. And then immediately send them this video. We're so evil. Elon!
Drinking freaking dinosaur pee, bro. That's how we stay
This is why you
alive.
should never explore the forest at night. Late at night in 2006, two men hear some strange noises coming from a forest near their house, so they decide to go have a look. After their footage went completely viral, they would admit that they actually only went into the woods just to scare themselves. They didn't actually expect to film anything. At some point on their walk, they start to notice more and more dead birds on the ground, and so one of them gets out his camera to start filming them. As they're filming the birds, you can tell that they're getting more and more spooked by the whole situation, and then one of the men hears something in the tree line, and the cameraman pans his camera to look. Human eyes don't reflect light.
So what the hell was that?
Someone in my group just
He's
said
out there is down below.
bats. And they're right. Here's bat facts, but they get wholesome. Without bats, we wouldn't have tequila. There's about 500 plants that depend on bats to pollinate them, and one of them happens to be the reason you drunk texted your ex at 6 p.m. on a Tuesday. Vampire bats will adopt the babies of their best friends if something happens to them. Also, vampire bats can die if they go one night without eating, so if one is starving, a well-fed bat will regurgitate in its mouth just enough to keep it alive. And it turns out they'll do this with their friends to make sure they return the favor if they ever need it. The smallest bat in the world is a bumblebee bat, and it weighs as much as 2 Skittles. Other than giving us reasons to send texts we regret the next morning, bats are free pest control. By eating the bugs that would destroy crops, bats actually bail the farming industry out of billions of dollars a year. Mother bats will carry their babies around everywhere for the first couple of weeks, and that includes while she's flying. Bats can sleep, give birth, and have sex upside down, and that might not be wholesome, but damn it, that's talent. Also, there's a reason bats vibe upside down. It's because it's easier for them to get in the air and fly away if they're already hanging upside down as opposed to if they were on the ground. Compared to birds, it's actually way harder for them to get in the air, so chilling upside down just makes sense. Or you know.
There is a book that shows you how to summon the devil. I am, of course, speaking about the Grand Grimoire. It was likely written sometime between the 16th to the 19th century. Now, it details the method to summoning the devil and explains what you need to exchange with it to make a deal. Of course, that being your soul for eternity.
Not worth it.
It also discusses the other demonic entities said to exist in hell, and again methods on summoning some of those. The real question is, who really wrote it? If you're enjoying my religion series, remember to gift.
Here are some morbidly wholesome facts about Robin Williams. When Sharon Osbourne was sick in bed with cancer and giving up, Ozzy asked Robin Williams to come visit her. Robin randomly hopped in her sick bed, and her family instantly went from crying to laughing hysterically. Robin cheered her up so much that she went back to chemo the very next day. When Superman actor Christopher Reeve was left paralyzed after a horse riding accident, Robin Williams was one of the first people to visit him in the hospital. Came in dressed as a doctor and told Reeve he was there to give him a rectal exam, causing him to laugh for the first time in weeks. When Robin Williams first met Coco the gorilla in 2001, he made her smile for the first time in 6 months. When Robin died in 2014, Coco overheard the news and said the word cry in sign language.
Disney just got completely exposed. Okay, so we all know how Disney is known for all their classic movies. Well, what if I told you every single one of these movies is a copy and paste of another one? Disney literally recycles animation from other movies, and then change little things like characters and setting. Just watch this video and let me know what you think. Because after watching this video, I want to go back and rewatch all the Disney movies, just to see which movies recycled each other.
And Disney made probably billions off of that, of all those movies together. Maybe they just use the same animation throughout the movies? I know about saving a buck, but isn't this plain like copy and paste?
There is no way in 1,000 years you'd be able to guess what's happening in this photo. Yes, it does look like the apartment of a former frat boy who can't decorate, but it's actually a still from the most evil reality television show to ever exist, where this man was kept in this apartment naked with no food for 15 months, while 17 million people in Japan tuned in. It's also the subject of tonight's episode, so let's dive in. So this is called Sweepstakes Life, and it was a show in Japan in the 90s. To cast the show, a group of men were told to come to a casting office with no other information. A box with a question mark was then wheeled into the room, and each of the men had to pull an envelope. This guy, Nasubi, is the guy that gets the winning slip, and this is where his nightmare begins. He was immediately blindfolded and thrown in the back of a car, where he was brought to this apartment and told to strip. This is also where he's told that anything he needs to survive needs to be won in sweepstakes that are in those magazines, meaning he couldn't eat anything until he won it, which didn't happen for 2 weeks. He wouldn't be let out of the apartment until he won 1 million yen worth of prizes, and he had no idea it would take him over a year to do so. I'm gonna have to do another part to the story, but check out tonight's episode for more.
A year?
It's just the usual transformation as far as I'm concerned. Painful, but there we are. We all have crosses to bear, eh?
Quiet. Nearly time now. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move right.
It's gonna transform into a werewolf. Let's see. Or is this just another edit? They won't let the public get a hold of footage like this, would they? Sideburns going in. Taking the shoes off? Okay. Yeah, this is definitely an edit, bro. You know this is a damn edit. Like, what the?
That's right, thank you.
I like how he showed it like it's.
Biggest streamer in the world sell their soul?
It's something most people don't notice. As I mentioned before, Castanet is making a transition. Here he is in Paris for Fashion Week since his promo of the new brand Vivet. Now the outfit he wears doesn't look the same, but similar to an outfit upcoming artist David wore and sold on his website before his incident. That year, David also had strong connections to Paris during Fashion Week. Now the patterns is what continues to show themselves. You see here David doing the one-eye symbolism, the all-seeing eye. Kai has been showing the same patterns even before all this started. If you remember, this is from his old profile picture on his Instagram. The vow of silence, the one-eye symbolism, and even what we see here. The horned hand, the monocornudo. Even on his arm, you see the see no evil, and you're going to turn a blind eye to the evil that's going on. It's similar to his recent Vivet design. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Now, if you still think that's not enough, he recently met up with one of the final bosses of fashion, Laura Roach. Laura Roach is a powerhouse in the Paris fashion industry, and now Kai has him as a stylist and coach. As you can see, even with this character, the patterns don't change. One-eye symbolism. One-eye symbolism. Okay, so this is my final connection. Laura Roach and Michelle Lamy are both iconic figures in the fashion industry who maintain a close professional and personal relationship. Michelle Lamy is frequently seen at events hosted by Laura Roach. July 2025, she was a notable guest at Roach's 47th birthday celebration at the hotel in Paris. Laura Roach even has been spotted at exclusive parties hosted by Rick Owens. And if you don't know about Michelle and Rick Owens, you should watch my other video on it, Birds of a Feather. So you might choose to ignore this. The characters might change, but these patterns always stay the same.
Bro, tell me down below, man. Let's end this debate once for all. Did Kyle sell his soul, bro? Tell me what you think, man. I know a lot of people do. I guess ever since he started his brand, but there people saying he's been moving differently. Debate it down below. I don't think he did though, but that's the Mothman. Staring.
Alright, y'all, I have to share with you one of my most requested videos. I posted this back at the end of 2023, and what happened in this video was an unidentified man, a witness, had saw something that he couldn't explain. A being, a female being, walking down the pier, and he had no idea what it was. It had pointed ears, walking on tiptoe, and no, to those who said maybe she came from a cosplay or something like that, there was nothing like that going on, nor in that little town do they have stuff like that. It literally looks like this creature came out of the water and was going back to the water. But the question is, what was she? Was this a person in costume? Or is this something else? And keep in mind, this was captured back before AI was a thing. So back in 2023, before AI blew up, and now we have to question everything. What did he capture? Take a look, comment below, tell me what you think.
Okay, let's check it out. The hell is that? I guess it ain't coming from no cosplay party. Whoa.
Suck baby's blood. And put it on my face.
I eat children. How old are you? 12. Oh, okay. Only to 10.
What are you pushing into the skin? Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores. But what is it? It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract. It's foreskin from a Korean baby. That's what it is.
The elite showing you Satan's pentagram at the opening ceremony for the Olympics tells you who runs this world. Just yet another satanic Olympic opening ceremony. The Synagogue of Satan uses the inverted pentagram because it puts spirit at the bottom. And this is the symbolism in which they worship Satan. Now, pentagrams represent all 5 elements: spirit, water, fire, earth, and air. The inverted satanic pentagram puts spirit at the bottom. This is quite literally this satanic order where they prioritize the physical aspects of this reality over the divine or God. We're talking the exact symbol that they use in the Church of Satan at the front door, at the gate of the Olympics. They make it so obvious that they're the ones that are controlling everything, that they worship Satan. All these things that have been coming out recently and exposing what's really been going on. Is this really a surprise to any of you guys? Nope. Symbolism rules our world, and you need to decipher these codes in order to understand who controls things. What's going on behind the closed doors? The shadows are now coming to light, and we, the people, will light up the darkness. Peace and love.
Did Jeffrey rise from the dead again? While almost everyone's talking about the halftime show with Bad Bunny, a candy company that directs its marketing towards children used someone who looks just like Epstein. We'll get into a lot more stuff in just 1 minute, but I mean, you have to be kidding me. They could have chose anyone else in the world but a guy who looks exactly like Jeff. Again, candy commercial, which is aiming at children, And even the way he's like dressing, they literally mimicked exactly what he looks like. Remember, we're talking about the guy who ordered 300 gallons of sulfuric acid, and we saw it in the drops. What in the world could someone use that for? Come on now. Then to put this garbage right in front of our face. Well, hold on. Not mine. I don't watch this. They already made it in court a while back. It was fake. It's always a homage. By the way, completely unrelated. Tell me in the comments what color her shoes are right here. Lady Gaga. For those who don't know what sulfuric acid does, it dissolves anything. And I do mean anything. And of course, Jay-Z comes out of hiding. Birds of a feather flock together. You know, here's the real question. When they pay homage to people like that, like the Grammys and the Olympics, what do you think these people are doing with all the energy they conjure up from the fiction trying to get your energy? Why would you boycott? Let me know.
Brian is the famous artist, and we always make fun of each other and portray each other in silly, satirical ways.
Theo, as you know, is the latest, hottest, hunkiest teen idol there is.
Yeah. Is he?
I mean, he tries to kiss me on the lips.
No.
Listen, I'm not gonna
act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
So how you been, man? I've been seeing you so long. How much did we drink?
2 men from that set began sexually abusing me. I thought a lot about that. I thought a lot about how these predators have some sort of sixth sense for vulnerable kids.
How do you even build a child molesting robot?
What you do is you start by building a regular robot, then you molest it and hope that it continues the cycle.
Today's episode of Random White Acts of Danger, we have Exploring with Special White Breed ND. And immediately you're going to see free will is so crazy because you don't got to do all this. Red Bull nowhere in sight, so why is looking for vibes? Fear Unlocked. Thalassophobia is dark. Bring me back up, gangster. Why would you think I wanted to come with you? Are you insane? Like, nah, boy, that's got to be a hell of like. Oh, that's really the unknown. We don't know what could be down there. And you just stepped off the edge into what looks like guaranteed death. What if a fish just drag you to the bottom? Or like a mermaid? Aliens? I believe in all that shit. Look how dark and how fast it get dark. Boy, my hands is sweating. I'm happy you did this for us, though, so now I never have to ever do this. But it's like, I'm almost mad you brought me with you. Like, I wish you just kept the camera here and I could have let you disappear. But when I'm disappearing with you, it's like a jump scare is on the way. It doesn't even need to be no jump scare because I'm already about to have a heart attack. It's pitch black down in the fucking water. You doing this by choice? Oh, yeah, man. Special White Breed ND. Definitely why I be rocking with white people, though, because, like, a lot of shit would not get discovered without them. Like, I wouldn't be able to enjoy cave exploring, moving, grooving, vibing, sliding, flying through the air, pitch black dives. Without Shoka, I'm not doing that. But, like, I can feel enjoyment through the screen. A little bit of fear and a little bit of, like, why? Do you not like your life? But you know what I'm saying? I'm entertained. I appreciate you. Already know. Run the outro.
Not me. That's crazy. It's black, bro.
So you're telling me that this whole time, the way I lay in bed actually matters? And that my sleep position affects more than just comfort? You motherfuckers. Tell me you didn't see this coming. Even lying on your back. Energy, hormones, guts still takes a beating. Oh, wow. Now the hugger position, teddy bear position is making more sense to me. What about you?
I ain't big on theories or nothing like that, but this one don't make sense. He told us about how he came up and fame and all that, but he ain't really tell us how he came up, like grew up and shit like that. For example, you go on Google and try to find out who this man's parents are, you cannot find a trace.
Really?
I'm about to pull it up right now. Nah, this is Wikipedia. That's all. That's all you're gonna find on Wikipedia. Go search for yourself. This is some random site. Little is known regarding Orlando Brown's parents and family. Like what? Another site. Where is his parents from? There is no information regarding where Orlando Brown's parents is from. And it keeps going. Cherry on top, father, mother, TVA. They do not know. Like, bro, can somebody let me know who this man's parents is? Like, or is this man like government made or something? Like, and he just broke out the Matrix or some shit.
Have you ever wondered why when rockets take off, they never maintain their trajectory going straight up? They always curve. Now, I'm not saying we're in a dome, but when you watch this video, if you take into account what it mentions in Genesis, which is that we're under a firmament, the earth is strong in its foundations and it will not be moved. That's the opposite of what NASA says, by the way. Apparently we're moving at a bajillion miles an hour, hurtling through the sky, and it's absolutely wild up there. And there's space and aliens. Listen, so when this rocket gets to a certain height, it's going to look like it smacks onto a body of water. It literally looks like ripples in water. Now, apparently the firmament is not water. Look at that. What did it hit? The atmosphere? It went through different densities of air and freaking... What is that? So it's not that there's necessarily water up there. It gets to a point where it's like a jelly-like ether. And then above that are the waters above the firmament. At least that's what it says in Genesis. So don't argue with me. Now, the crazy part that is not mentioned in this video, and you realize too, if we have been fibbed to about the true shape of this realm, that would be the biggest lie ever. And everything else would come crumbling down and would be exposed if we found out the shape of the earth is not quite what they said.
Yep.
So the question is, are all of our ancestors, which were building things, magnificent structures, living organically, they had advanced knowledge, they also believed it was flat. So were they all wrong? They were right about building and ancient knowledge and whatnot, but they were wrong about the shape. They got it wrong. The shape is actually a ball. People used to think the earth was flat. Yes, every single advanced, the Mayans, the Egyptians, carvings in stone, flat. But the crazy part is if it's flat, what the Sam damn are we on, dude? I know you're already thinking that. Well, we got lands past the ice wall. Maybe it goes on for infinity, man. But it's definitely, likely, in my opinion, not a ball hurtling through space. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
You guys team flat earth or team round, bro? Hey, these flat earth theories, bro. It's starting to convince me more and more, man.
Don't believe that people can shapeshift into you. They can jump into your body and they can act like you. You know how like some people astral project into your lives and they get to see what's going on in your home. They can see what you're doing in actual real time. There's people that can jump into your body and take over you and pretend to be you. Y'all remember the movie Princess and the Frog? And y'all remember Shadow Man? And y'all remember how the prince homeboy, he wanted to be him so bad. And so he had made a deal with Shadow Man to be him. And you see how he was walking all around town and he was the prince and people believe that he was the prince. You ever had somebody be like, oh, I seen you the other day over here? Like, no, that wasn't me. People can really shapeshift into you and walk around this town and walk around your neighborhood and act like they are you. Y'all gotta be aware.
If you can't see, you are just blind. Watch this.
Hey, anybody order a pizza?
Give me my baby joy.
What? And now listen to this.
How was the pizza? Was it good? What he made it himself? Pizza was better than Clues. Everybody made a certain kind of pizza.
There's no pizza we didn't love.
Tom Hanks was just beyond nice. You know, when we were filming Cloud Atlas, he would put on a Sunday movie night, and we would all go and kick it back at his house, watch a movie, and he'd order a load of pizzas.
Why? Why it's always pizza?
I hate pizza.
You hate pizza?
I know.
It was a blast. And I just have two questions. One is that why celebrities are so much obsessed with that one thing? It's always the pizza. And number two is that in these emails of Epstein files, they mentioned pizza over 900 times. 900 times. And this photo is very weird. And still nobody talking about that. Tell me what you all think of that.
D4VD friend just got arrested, y'all. Shit getting real. This just a little update on David, y'all, because no one been talking about it lately. But they arrested his friend because they summoned this man to appear in court, and he didn't come. That man said, I will not cooperate. He doing what a lot of rappers don't do, keeping his mouth closed. So I seen people talking about he was guilty. Nah, he not guilty. He just didn't come to court. But it do makes David seem a little guilty, because if you didn't do nothing, you should have told your man, like, hey, go ahead, go to court, fool. Vouch for me, fool. But like I said, it's making everything seem a little suspicious. I'm so lost in this court case, I didn't even know that they were doing court already. I didn't even know. My whole thing is, why is this man D4VD still not arrested yet? They saying they got all this evidence now, but he's still not arrested. But you did arrest his friend, though. And I need y'all to keep it real down below in the comments. If this was you, are you going to court cooperating, or you going to keep it on a hush-hush too? Let me know down below in the comments.
Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
They're saying that Meta is trying to keep people alive online after they die. You heard what I just said? They want to use an AI to post as you after you die. Meta just secured a patent for AI that can manage a deceased person's account. Not memorize, not freeze it. We're talking about running a deceased person's account, posting on it, replying to messages, even making videos using historical data. So let me get this straight. You die, but your profile doesn't. This AI uses your past posts, your DMs, your voice notes, your captions, your behavior patterns. This thing studies how you talk, how you joke, how you argue, and then it replicates you. They're calling this innovation, but I'm calling this digital resurrection without your consent. I want you to go back. Remember when celebrities were signing deals with Meta? Selling their likenesses for AI. That wasn't random. All that tells me is they've been building this the whole entire time. And here's the part that's crazy as hell. Go down the rabbit hole. Find out what Meta means in Hebrew. Meta in Hebrew means dead. But it's a conspiracy, right? See, what it is, you don't think symbolism matters to these people. It matters. So now imagine this. Your grandmother passes away, right? Her account start posting memories, commenting back, messaging family. Is that comfort? Or is that training humanity to normalize AI replacing us? You do the math. The real question you have to ask is, who owns your identity when you're gone? Your family or AI?
That is insane, bro, that we even had to have this discussion. But now that he put this in the works, man, who knows how many accounts, bro, still gonna be operating even though the owner's not here. I didn't even know that Meta was doing deals where celebrities were signing away their likeness. So they sign away their soul for a check.
Epstein is the reason downloadable content and microtransactions ruin gaming. Why?
Wait, how? How the hell did he create that?
He was the one that came up with the idea, and it came out all in the Epstein files.
Yeah?
He was writing an email to the makers of Call of Duty talking about you have to start introducing microtransactions into these games. Okay. You'll be very profitable. That's why we have microtransactions today, and that's why gaming is ruined. Oh. This guy's the actual devil.
Yeah,
Why
would he do that?
That means like so he can make more money.
Yeah, like
everything,
like guns and all that.
Okay. The maps, yeah. DLC was him. Okay. Microtransactions, everything was him.
Wait. So we wouldn't have Nuketown if it wasn't for Jimmy. That's what I'm saying, bro. We wouldn't have Nuketown. Fortnite would not be a big game.
Fortnite would not be a big
Fortnite
game.
nothing without that.
Now, but Nuketown came out like as a regular map, right? No, it's DLC. No, Black Ops.
Oh, yeah, right. No, I got Fortnite. I got you.
So now we.
So he made freaking microtransactions, bro. How deep does that damn rabbit go, man? He's connected with a whole lot of freaking powerful people, man. Creators of Call of Duty, so that's why freaking microtransactions. I read a little bit of messages saying it was addicted, knowing kids would just buy into it. Wow.
No, the real reason why Epstein wasn't into black girls the way that he was into his own, because he had other plans for our people. Have y'all seen this, bro? Epstein emails expose disturbing parties for hunting black people. Yeah, I cannot make this shit up if I wanted to, man. Look at what Jeffrey Epstein said. It says, going to me and Lana's party now to hunt. And guess what? There, right over here, y'all see that. And one of the most powerful families in the world, the Rothschild, replied to it saying, thanks, thrilling hunt. So with movies like The Hunger Games, they were literally telling us what they were doing to our people. You really think they're doing this to their own? Peep this, y'all. The movie is called The Hunger Games Mockingjay. J, the letter J. If you know your history correctly, the oldest languages in the Bible didn't have the letter J in it. It was the letter Y for Yah, meaning God. So they're literally telling us they are mocking God. And who is God? Come on, y'all already know. Stop playing. And once again, y'all, when it comes to me, I let my numbers do the talking for me. Because men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. The movie is called The Hunger Games, and it gives you the number 42. Do you know how relevant the number 42 is, y'all? Look up the number 42 and how it's associated with our people specifically. Hold on, you don't have to. Let me show y'all. Epstein hunting? Bro, I'm not playing with y'all. These movies have been telling us for quite some time. Ever since they set foot on our land, this is exactly what they've been doing. How do you think they've been keeping our people underneath this spell? They are literally mocking us right here on our place, bro. And they're literally telling us, this is nothing new. Why would they do this to their own? Now you really understand why over 1 million black women and children go missing every single year. Because of this head honcho over here. Y'all, when y'all gonna wake up? It's 2026, man. When are y'all gonna wake up and stop sleeping with the enemy? And everybody's asking the same question now. What did we do to y'all? What did we do to y'all? Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. The shit is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in. You see her smiling? You see her smiling? You see that? See that? You see, you got the black body, you got the chocolate insides, right? You got the black woolly afro hair. Yeah. Because this is what they look like, right? This is what they look like. Y'all better wake up, man. The shit is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Places
in the creepiest places in the world. Gate to Hell, Turkmenistan. It's been burning for past 40 years, and no one knows when it's going to stop.
Lake Natron, Tanzania.
Due to high levels of salt contents, everything that touches the lake turns to pure stone.
Oh.
Surprising facts about every single country in the world, part 31. North Korea doesn't tax its citizens. Argentina once had 5 different presidents in 2 weeks. Bulgaria, no army has ever captured the Bulgarian flag in battle. Czechia is the most atheist country in the world. Israel developed voicemail technology.
This mother listened as her daughter was mauled by a bear. On August 2011, a 19-year-old Olga Moskolyova went fishing with her stepfather at a river in the village of far eastern Siberia. This area is known for its significant bear population, and it's home to one of the largest brown bears in the world. On this day, Olga called her mother and told her that she was being eaten by a bear. At At first she thought her daughter was joking, but then she heard the bears growling and chewing, and she realized that this was real. Her mother then called her husband, which is Olga's stepfather, but little did she know he was already deceased. The story is that they were done fishing and were on their way back when they realized that they forgot something, so they walked back to the river and came face to face with a brown bear and her cubs. Olga's stepfather was attacked first, and Olga tried to run away, but the bear caught up to her. While Olga's stepfather was already deceased, the bear came back several times to attack Olga until she was dead. But during the attack, Olga was able to call her mother 3 times, and during this call, she told her that she was being eaten by the bear and her cubs. She then ended the conversation by telling her mother that she loved her. The mother called police, and they arrived to the location in about 30 minutes, and they found the bear still eating her husband's body. Like I said, this area is known to have a lot of bears, so people usually bring protection with them, but it was said that Olga and her stepfather did not.
Facts that will blow your mind.
This is a tragic story, Seekers, man. You're getting eaten alive, and you're calling your mom has to hear that. That's just devastating, man. To have the willpower, man, you're getting eaten alive by a bear to even make this call, since she said 3 times. She's a strong person.
Humans are the only animals that enjoy spicy foods. Potato chips cause more weight gain than any other food. It's impossible to hum while you hold your nose. The least interesting day in history was April 11th, 1954. Aldous Huxley and C.S. Lewis died on the same day as JFK. Bigger forks lead you to eat less. The longest living insect is the termite. Chewing gum after a meal reduces heartburn. Dogs can smell cancer. Bees can detect bombs. Follow and comment below which fact blew your mind.
That dogs can smell cancer and bees can detect bombs? What the hell?
Places that look more creepy at night.
Country roads at night. Dangerous place. Playground at night. Some stuff go down there too.
Through the window, by the window, that's where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
That was an edit. You gotta spot them out, man. When we see the edits, call them out. Especially, like I said, you can call them out down below, man, because I might miss some edits too. Let's help each other out, man, in this community.
Creepy urban legends that turned out to be true, part 3. A guy is passed out on the bus and everyone leaves him alone, assuming that he's sleeping as the bus makes its rounds, until the driver checks him at the end of the shift to discover he's dead. In 2011, Robert Young and Mark Rubinson arrived at their friend Jeffrey Jarrett's house to find him passed out, so they decided to load him into the car. The only problem is he was dead in the back seat the whole time. A woman goes to sleep and wakes up with a pain in her ear, only to find out the pain was caused by bugs that had nested in her skull. And in 2013, a woman named Rochelle Harris returned home after a vacation in Peru, where she started hearing scratching noises in her head. She started experiencing pain and finally decided to go to the doctor after a fly flew out of her ear. The diagnosis? A family of 8 flesh-eating maggots had nested deep in her ear canal.
Here's some of the scariest unknown creatures caught on camera. Part 6. This drone footage captured in the deep parts of the Salt Fork Park in Ohio captures what may be evidence of the elusive Bigfoot. As the drone begins to land, pay attention to the thickets and tell me what you think.
Okay. Definitely saw some in the corner. Bigfoot, was he confirmed, man? You guys know we've seen a lot of sightings or Bigfoot and Sasquatch, but nobody has really able, I guess, been to, like, you know, hunker down and really confirm if it's true or not. That could just be like a different type of animal roaming the forest or a guy in a costume, man. We never know. That's interesting, though. See if I can find some more footage.
Homeowners. I don't know about you, but I've grown tired of that feeling you get every month waiting for the delivery of the electricity bill. Like many of us, I was fed up of the constant price hikes and the feeling of hopelessness when my electricity bill arrived every month. I felt like I had no control over what I was being charged, and I searched all over to find a solution. That's when I decided to take control of my energy costs. I reached out to a consultant at Zephytech who introduced me to their T1 Powerwall battery. At first, I was skeptical. Why would I need a solar storage system when I don't even have solar panels? But after a quick 10-minute phone consultation, everything clicked. The Powerwall can be charged at night when electricity is cheap at 9p per kilowatt hour. This means that I can store inexpensive energy at night and use it during the day when the electricity rates are higher. Since installing the Powerwall, my electricity bill has been dramatically reduced even without using solar panels. The service and support team from Zephytech has been outstanding. So much so that I decided to take the next step in my renewable journey. And I'm planning to add solar panels to my setup to aim for a zero.
Here's some of the most random fun facts you will ever hear in your
Zephyr,
life.
I'm about to check that out.
Armadillo shells are actually bulletproof. One time a man was hospitalized when he shot at an armadillo and the bullet ricocheted off the shell and hit him instead. There's only one letter in the entire alphabet that isn't in any US state name, and that letter is Q. There's not a single state with the letter Q in its name.
Really?
71% of the earth is covered in water, and humans can only use 0.007% of that water. 2.5% of the total water is fresh water, and only 1% of that is actually accessible. The bumblebee bat is the smallest mammal in the entire world. These things can rest on your fingertips, and you might not even know because they weigh 0.05 to 0.07 ounces. Ostriches are the world's largest and heaviest living bird. It's why they can't fly, but they are built for running, and they can reach speeds of up to 43 miles per hour, and they can pretty easily coast at 30 miles per hour. The longest English word is 189,819,000 letters long. It's a protein, and its nickname is titin, and it would take around 3.5 hours to say the word out loud.
He murdered his great-grandmother for $133. In 2012, 13-year-old Antonio Barbo and his best friend Nathan Papp both murdered his great-grandmother in the most horrific way. On that day, Antonio's mother drove the kids to her grandmother's house, 78-year-old Barbara Olsen, but she had no idea what they were about to do. The two teens tried to sneak into Barbara's house, but then she heard them, so she invited them inside. Once Barbara turned around, her great-grandson hit her with a hatchet. Barbara was hit 27 times and had wounds all over her hands and arms, indicating that she tried to defend herself. The teens stole Barbara's jewelry along with $155 and then used that money to buy drugs and pizza. They tried to drag Barbara's body into her car, but when they couldn't pick her up, they just left her in the garage. Barbara's body was found 2 days later by her own daughter, and the boys were arrested not long after. Nathan argues that he thought Antonio was just joking about murdering his own great-grandmother, and he only participated because he was afraid that Antonio would turn on him. Antonio's grandmother, who's also the victim's daughter, spoke out and said that her mother was not a vindictive person and she would have wanted Antonio to have another chance at life. And Antonio's defense really tried to argue that he had a brain injury back in 2009 and that's the reason he did what he did. But none of that mattered because both of these teenagers were sentenced to life in prison and are eligible for parole in 2048.
For some money, man. I tell you, bro, money. It's the root of all evil, bro. For $155, and their lives are over.
These are things that don't exist anymore. Up first is Heinz Purple Ketchup.
What?
I've never had this or even seen it, but I heard it was really good and everybody liked it. Next up are house phones. Everybody had house phones back in the day, but when cell phones started to blow up, these kind of went outdated. Yes, I know some people have them, but not a lot of them do anymore. Next is cursive writing. Kids nowadays can't even read cursive writing and can't even write in cursive. The only thing that is cursive now is signatures.
Yep.
When I was growing up, they made us write cursive and learn it. But nowadays, they just don't.
I remember, yeah, going up in the lower grades, we used to learn cursive, but they stopped doing that.
What is the number one thing that people say they regret before they die? So the following is according to a nurse who spent several years caring for patients in the last 12 weeks of their life. So regret number 5 on the list is that I wish I had let myself be happier. Regret number 4 on the list is that I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. She said that many had become so caught up in their own lives that they had forgot their golden friendships and let them slip by as the years went on. Regret number 3 is I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Now regret number 2 is that I wish I hadn't worked so hard. She said that this came from every male patient that I nursed. They had missed out on their children's youth or their partner's companionship. And regret number 1 was that I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life that others expected of me. Most people had not even honored half of their dreams, and that they had to die knowing that it was due to the choices that they had made or not made.
Follow your dreams, Shakers, man. Don't know, maybe they tell you different.
Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that's where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulip.
What the hell?
With me.
The most historic case that has ever taken place in DC history is probably one that you have never even heard of. One of the scariest cases that I've read in a long time. This is the very true story of the Freeway Phantom. In the 1970s, there was a man in Washington, D.C. who people named the Freeway Phantom because he had one very specific MO. He was only going after young black girls and women. He was abducting them off the street, and then their bodies would be found here, left and positioned right at the freeway. Actually, in the investigation, they profiled him as someone who was a textbook psychopath. He was repeatedly calling the families after he had abducted these girls, and he was breathing into the phone, and then he would say something like, "I just killed your daughter," and then hang up. Even left a handwritten note with the body of one of his victims. If you want the full story on this, we are going to cover it on the show. Mysteriously, in the 90s, all the records on the case vanished.
Here are some creatures you should be glad.
Chilling.
The Gigantopithecus holds the record for being the largest ape to ever live. They grew to be around 10 feet tall, weighed over 1,200 pounds, and lived in what is now southern China for 6 to 9 million years. They eventually went extinct at the beginning of the Pleistocene ice ages around 100,000 years ago. Scientists believe that this primate walked on all fours like modern apes do, while others believe that they walked with a bipedal or human-like motion, but there is no way to tell who's correct. Due to the way their teeth and jaws were constructed, they had the ability to crush, cut, and grind down almost anything, including very tough and fibrous foods. With all this in mind, this is not an animal you would want to come across in the jungle.
Wouldn't. Sounds like they're gonna grind your bones to dust.
This delivery person has quite the imagination. In fact, he hates his job, so he came up with an idea to make it more interesting. Look at how he delivers his packages. He attached a hoverboard to the back and a wheel to the front so he can move around like a car. And the best part is that he can place his bag on the wheel. He thought of absolutely everything. Beautiful.
Here are the worst
Truly,
mistakes
he did.
ever made by teachers. Part 3. When it comes to discussing serious topics in the classroom, like the slave trade, the teacher should talk about it with care and sensitivity. But a social studies teacher from the Bronx named Patricia Cummings didn't do this. She had black students lie down on the floor as a demonstration, and allegedly stepped on at least one student's back. She was, of course, fired, but she decided to sue the New York City Department of Education for $120 million. Next, an elementary school teacher from Wales named Elizabeth Davies was in charge of a group of students that had a good number of Bangladeshi students. And she complained that those students constantly smelled of curry and would spray them with air freshener. Needless to say, she was let go. And a teacher from Florida was so fed up with the disruptive students' behavior that she taped the student's mouth shut. She then tried making a point that what happens in her classroom stays in her classroom. Except then this story hit the local news and it became a sticky situation for her.
Why do teachers think they could do? Or some teachers think they can do things like that, and they just think they're gonna avoid the consequences, man. Like their kids, well, obviously they're gonna tell their parents or friends. Somebody's gonna find out. That first story is crazy, man. How she made those kids demonstrate that, and then she tried to sue them for money. People be trying to sue you for the wrong things. Is this guy? This at it.
Words of Satanists before dying. Aleister Crowley. I am perplexed. Anton Lavey. Oh my, what have I done? There is something very wrong. David Hume. I am in flames. Voltaire. I am abandoned by God and man. I will give you half of what I am worth if you give me 6 months of life. Sir Francis Newport. Oh, that fire. Oh, the insufferable pangs of hell. Thomas Paine. Stay with me. For God's sake, I can't bear to be left alone. Oh, Lord, help me.
These are the world's freakiest land animals. In 2022, a TikToker named Caustica uploaded a video that showed a weird-looking creature running around his backyard. Once the video went viral, wildlife experts took to the comments to explain that it was a lesser blind mole rat. And this is because of how its tiny eyes are nearly tucked under its skin. They spend most of their time underground creating tunnels with their massive teeth. In 2020 in British Columbia, a woman was walking around when she saw a bug that looked like a tarantula with wings. She then shared a photo of the bug to Facebook, where wildlife experts explained that this was a very big moth called a Polyphemus moth. These moths have huge bodies, and despite their scary looks, they don't have mouths to bite. And they have a lifespan of about 2 weeks. And in 2024 in Sydney, Australia, a TikToker named Blonde heard a weird tapping sound coming from her window at night, and she went to investigate. And what she found is like something out of nightmares. At her window, a bat was tapping on the glass, trying to find a way to escape the storm. And it stayed around until the next morning, where Blonde had to call a bat expert to come remove it. But this turned out to be a non-aggressive species of a bat known as a flying fox. And they only eat fruit or flowers. They also struggle to keep warm when they're wet, which explains why it was at her window. Now I just feel sorry for the little guy.
This skier is about to do something terrifying. In fact, he's a world champion in skiing, and during his competitions, he developed a unique technique to go much faster and especially much further.
Sorry, but I'm the one.
Gliding. Like a Batman or something.
The whole Nico Cardo avocado situation is completely fake and driving everybody insane. At least that's what a lot of people are saying on here. Let me explain. So yesterday I'm sure you saw this video where he revealed himself finally after a few months of not being active. And of course the majority of you remember him like this over the past few years making content across various platforms.
Yep.
People are going crazy saying, how the hell is it possible he lost this much weight in between 2 and 7 months? Is it Ozempic? Is it, I don't know what's going on. Which has led many people to believe that these are actually all pre-recorded, because this is what he used to look like 8 years ago. So people are saying that basically all that time ago he pre-recorded all of these videos ready to put them out and basically prank everyone. Especially many people cottoning on to the fact that he has this bird in this video, which he had a long time ago and apparently the bird died. But he said he got a new one. However, this video that he posted yesterday was of the Charlie XCX Apple dance, which obviously is a new trend, so how would this be pre-recorded? And he said it's not been 2 months, he's basically pre-recorded these videos over the last couple of years during his transformation. So all the content the last couple of years was pre-recorded, and the stuff now is finally the real him. It's definitely interesting, and I mean, congrats to him for losing that much weight, it is crazy. And as always, hit that follow button, and I'll keep you updated.
This is the scariest...
That Nico avocado situation, it was actually insane, man. Saw it trending. But if he actually freaking pre-recorded those videos for years and was working on his transformation, like his video said, he really was 2 steps ahead. That's insane, man. He lost that much weight. But to put your body through that, I couldn't do it.
Story about the bath. Jennifer was sitting at her desk in her room. She was finishing up her homework when she suddenly got a text from a number she did not recognize. The text message said, "Take a bath and go to bed, it's a school night, Mom." Jennifer thought her mom's phone died, and she used somebody else's phone to text her. She already planned on taking a bath, so she undressed and grabbed a towel and walked into the bathroom. She stopped in her tracks and was surprised that the bathtub was already filled. "I guess my mom filled it in advance," she said. She then shrugged her shoulders and got in the bathtub. When she was in the bathtub, she became aware of a burning sensation all over her body, and it got worse and worse until she was crying. She then jumped out of the bath, but it was too late. The water was blood red, and the skin on her arms and legs were beginning to peel off. She was dripping blood and skin. She then picked up her phone to call the police, but there was a new text message waiting for her. It said, "Next time, bathe in water." Jennifer then heard laughter behind her, and standing there was a man holding an empty container of sulfuric acid.
Oh.
Before hiking this trail, there is
Careful.
a warning sign that states if you have difficulties passing through the 2 posts, you should not continue. People have been calling nature fat-phobic and that it should be widened for plus-sized people, but the sign is warning people that the canyon is very narrow to avoid anyone getting harmed. What do you think?
These are human body parts
Fat-phobic?
that may disappear in the future. First up is body hair. Originally, it protected ancient humans from harsh weather conditions. However, over time, with modern clothes and changes in environmental conditions, human body hair has significantly decreased and continues to do so. Many scientists believe it might eventually completely disappear. Next are wisdom teeth. They used to serve an evolutionary purpose for ancient humans who had much rougher diets and needed more chewing power. But our diets have softened and our jaws have become increasingly smaller. As a result, they have no space to properly grow in, and many people need to have them surgically removed. Many babies are now being born without wisdom teeth, and scientists believe this will eventually be the standard. Finally, we have male nipples. Everyone starts as female in the womb, and before the Y chromosome kicks in for males, nipples have already formed. When the baby becomes male, the prolactin levels decrease, making the male nipples non-functional. So while it's debated, some scientists think they'll disappear.
No more male nipples? That's freaking a crazy image to think about, bro.
Here's a list of historical facts that will mess with your perception of time. The last execution by guillotine in France happened after the first ever Star Wars premiered. What? The corporation Nintendo, that was formed the same year that Starry Night was painted. By Vincent van Gogh. The Roman Empire fell in 1453. And America was discovered 40 years later in 1492. Those 2 points in history are miles apart in my head. In 1861, Italy became an official country. And in 1886, Coca-Cola was invented. They were probably serving Coke at the 25-year anniversary of Italy itself. Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman, both prominent female figures in the civil rights movement, were alive during the same time. Like for a few months, but that's still crazy. In 1686, Isaac Newton came up with the 3 laws of motion. And in 1692, the Salem witch trial started. We were doing so well with science. And then we were just like, oh no, these women are witches actually.
John Chow hired 2 fishermen to take him out to this little island in the Indian Ocean. The next morning when the sun came up, John asked the fishermen to take him in a little bit closer, but the fishermen refused. So John puts a kayak in the water and he begins paddling into this island. He sees someone come out of the forest who has their face painted yellow. They all start looking at each other and they start screeching and running down the beach towards John. John stands there until they come all the way up to him. They don't shoot him with arrows, but they take his kayak. And then at some point, a child pulls his bow and arrow out and fires a bow directly at John. And he was holding a Bible, and he stopped the arrow with his Bible. And at that point, John is like, okay, I gotta go. And he jumps in the water, and without a kayak, has to swim a mile to get back to the fishing boat. And so the next day, he told the fishermen he wanted them to drop him off, and he would swim in, and he wanted them to leave and be completely out of sight. And so the fishermen drop him off, and they leave. The next day, when the fishermen come back to collect John, they see these people dragging his body by a rope. No one knows exactly what happened to John, how they killed him, but it's too dangerous for anyone to go back and retrieve his body, and so his body remains at North Sentinel Island. The few hundred people that live on North Sentinel Island that were responsible for killing John Chow, they're referred to as the Sentinelese, and they are unbelievably primitive. The Sentinelese want only Sentinelese on that island. No one else can be there. If you're not a Sentinelese,
someone actually find Epstein's right-hand woman?
I believe someone just found Ghislaine Maxwell.
That's gotta be her.
Do I know you?
It's the same person.
No, sorry.
No? I used to order the hell of pizza off of her.
Oh, really?
She always delivered, yeah.
Now I'll give her some credit. She did a good
Look how
job.
the eyes
with her
twitches
British
when he
accent,
walks
but you
away.
can't hide those chompers or that nose. Look at the dip in the nose, the flare in the nostrils, the damn teeth, the way they sit. How about that upper lip? Come on now. They'll call you a psycho for suggesting that this could be Ghislaine, but then they'll try to sell us this. Whatever
That's
this
not
is,
her.
it's not her. Just notice how her left eye sits slightly lower than her right eye in both of these images. And this is a consistent feature in multiple images. Something fishy is definitely going on, but I'd love to know your opinion in the comments below.
What if there was an archaeologist who discovered the blood of Jesus, but he took it to the wrong lab?
They said, Mr. Wyatt, this human blood only has 24 chromosomes in it. Whichever everybody else has 46. You see 23 from your mother, 23 from your father, 22 autosomes from your mother, 22 autosomes from your father. You get an X from your mother, you may get an X or a Y from your father, all right? This blood had 23 chromosomes from the mother's side, one Y chromosome only. You see, a child could not have developed if they hadn't had the autosomes from the mother. So all of his physical characteristics were determined by his mother's side of the family, her autosomes. His maleness was determined by this one Y that came from a source, not a human male. Then they said, this blood is alive. And then they said, whose blood is this? I said, it's the blood of your Messiah.
I went through a lot to find that video because it's been scrubbed from a lot of archives, and I find that weird. He's just another crazy scientist. Anyways, this is my driver, and I don't know, that's the most compelling piece of modern evidence that I've seen. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyways, let's smash it. Oh, I almost knocked it off the tee.
Said he found Noah's Ark. Okay, French fries and capsules is diabolical, bro.
Oh, what is this? Yo! Look at this!
Where that rainbow coming from, bro? It's like a beam.
I'm so like, bro. What is this? This is the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. Is it real? Like, what is this? I'm kind of scared, but I'm not, but what is it?
Hey, yo, what the fuck is that, man? That's some Dragon Tail type shit, y'all. Y'all see this shit? 2026, man. Explain that on photo grade. Shit is crazy.
It's all over you guys.
It's just water.
Just water? What's on that dude's tie?
I'm not sure if somebody...
You? Come here.
Serena. Little place.
Nope, you're gonna stand right over there.
Why?
Because I'm telling you to.
It's my house.
It's your house. You're responsible for everything that happened today. So, okay. Check in right there.
What are they doing?
Get up against the wall. Come over here. You're gonna stand there. You're gonna stand with your buddy over here.
Not saying a
Milligan,
word.
take these two, ask them questions about what's going on their arms. So, are you responsible for the house? No. Okay, who's the house dad?
I just told you you worked at Summit. Call him. Go there.
What's his name?
Eric, I told you. Why are you asking me?
Because it sounds like you're responsible for the house.
No.
Sounds like you have some idea of what's going on.
No.
You're not very forthcoming with everything.
How about you ask the house dad who you 30 years
ago? Who we're trying to get hold of.
Okay, we'll call him. Please.
Stay right there. You guys got IDs on you?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look at him. Step back. I don't know what you do.
This is private property. I can stay here.
Yeah, but right now we're investigating something that's going on.
What? There's something going on.
Oh, that Asian situation was crazy, bro. I didn't believe it until I saw the clip. Things people do for acceptance, bro. Like, why would all just like they'll stay piled up in the basement? That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh my God!
Something's on fire!
This woman claims that this is proof that there are non-humans walking amongst us. Now, I don't say that lightly, like there could be another explanation, but this is pretty freaking weird. Now, you remember in the movie They Live when they put on the sunglasses and they could see the reptilian-y people who are amongst the normal humans? And you know how that movie might have been made about Dicenian goggles, the goggles you put on that can see people's auras, but some people don't have auras because they might not be people? Well, this woman goes to Buckingham Palace, okay? She's in Europe. She's in England. She's using a thermal camera and looking at all kinds of normal people exhibiting a heat signature. Until she goes in front of Buckingham Palace. She turns around and films the front guards on this side of the gate, and they have a heat signature. But the two guards at the inner gate that goes into Buckingham Palace, in a second I zoom it in and you'll see, they don't have a heat signature, dude. And keep watching because this is extremely bizarre. You'd think, someone said, well, their clothes are thick, so you wouldn't be able to see because of their clothes. But look at these two guys on either side of the door. No heat signature on their faces. You'd think for sure if it's picking up the heat signature of this light, should pick up their face. So, now last I checked, reptiles are cold-blooded and have less of a heat signature. I'm just saying, should we get thermal cameras and check things out? Now, according to Google's AI, there is no scientific evidence confirming aliens live among us. As if you'd be waiting around for the science to be settled on that. Dude, by the way, aliens, schmalians, just know if there is any non-human entities out there, they're not from space or through any firmament, okay? They're from other lands. They would be from other lands outside of the ice wall, which I can't wait to explore once human freedom is restored. That being said, could there be other creatures from other realms around us? Honestly, from all the rabbit holes I've been down and how many deceptions we've been deceived by and all the stuff that we've been fooled about, I would definitely imagine that is not too crazy of a thought for me to entertain. Now, do we know there's multidimensional entities around us? Yes. Do they harvest low vibrational frequency emotions? Yes. Is that why you should be extremely positive all the time? That's one of the reasons. Yes. Flip the brainwave state into everything that happens to you is good, and everything that is happening is for the better, and it will completely change your reality, and you literally do not need to take my word for that. Try it for 4 days and watch what blessings appear into your life. Oh, and before you ask for anything more, first, make sure you are mentioning how... Now, if you made it this far, I should say that there's a whole lot more I'm going to be posting, but I do want to mention that right now Chalk is giving away free bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia. This is the Chalk lid powder. Super detoxing, freaking delicious, and if you combine that with the hot water purified shilajit or the ashwagandha, you're getting some of the most potent superfoods in the natural world. I'm talking fertility, brain function, hormones, energy levels, cognition, and your pineal gland. Comment free below and check your DMs for details.
Okay, let's really talk. Because this is the part they never wanted us to figure out.
Okay.
CERN isn't just running experiments. They're running a system reset. They're smashing particles, forcing frequency, bending timeline, but what they actually did is break the original design. And now, they can't stop that collapse that they started. That's why time feels weird, the days are blur. That's why your spirit feels like it's vibrating out of sync. Because reality is folding in on itself in real time. The Mandela effect, deja vu, those dreams that feel more real than life, that is not your imagination. That is your spirit catching what your mind can't process. You feel like some people around you don't even feel real no more. Seems so. And that's because some of them not. They're running old frequencies trapped in this loop while the system glitches. They thought that they could control reality like code, like they could write over divine law. But you can't hack universal order. You can delay it, you can bend, but eventually it snaps back. And that snapback, that is what we're starting to feel now. So you aren't crazy, you aren't imagining it, you were just waking up before they wanted you to. The collapse isn't coming, it is already here. So y'all better stay woke, I'm telling you. And if y'all want me to go way deep in this, if y'all are ready,
she goes deeper?
Y'all better let me know. Because we can go real deep with this.
Damn, okay. CERN messing up the timelines.
You motherfuckers. So you're telling me that this whole time people have been thinking soap is mandatory, and while using it, people think that they're actually clean afterwards? Mandatory? Scrub, rinse, clean, thinking we're doing it right. Not even close. Water alone is ready to pee. So, optional, not mandatory at all? We've been stressing, thinking we're clean, when really we've been doing this wrong.
This is what Jeffrey Epstein's private jet looks like in 2026. Now, when it was purchased in 2001, the Boeing 727 was called the Lolita Express, and it was often pictured flying Epstein's notable guests all around the world, with victims claiming that a lot of the abuse happened on this very plane. And fast forward to 2026, it sat rotting in an aviation storage facility in Brunswick, Georgia. Now, the New York Post was granted exclusive access, and while many items from the jet have been removed, some have remained untouched, eerily frozen in time. Like the bathroom cabinet, for example. You have toiletries like baby powder and washcloths. In another cabinet, you have a single bottle of Johnson's baby lotion. The king-size bed was still made with blankets on top, although there was dead insects all over it. In a drawer, there was a dismantled satellite phone, while in another, there was another phone pulled from the wall. And they said that much of the plane had a really bad smell and it was starting to rot. Now, as of today, both of the engines have been removed, and the owner of the storage facility said that the plane will never fly again.
I'm up in here minding my business, trying to do some work, and somebody sent me this clip. Are y'all peeping what SFPD is doing? They are out here coming for any and everybody. Simple robbery, bipping, stolen car, don't matter. They coming in full force, and they using drones to get your ass. Now here's the problem. It's one thing to use the drones to catch them. It's another thing to use the footage from the drones, from the body cameras, the 911 audio, and the dispatcher audio to make a full-ass movie from it. Are you not seeing what I'm seeing right now? This is looking like a Oscars-ready production. This is better than Cops. Maybe it's because it's local, but either way. And secondly, because they're using the drones and stuff, they are blocking the damn freeways when you're trying to escape and running on the damn freeways to get you. Who got time for this? For bipping? For a stolen car, you gotta run on the freeway? I'm just giving y'all fair warning. If you come into the city, just know SFPD is trying to turn you into a real life movie. iRobot, Men in Black. This could be you.
Warning news. The Anunnaki landed. You ever wonder why everybody went radio silent about 3i Atlas? You ever wonder why it was all of a sudden breaking news and now it's swept under the rug and everybody's talking about these Epstein files? It's because they're here, honey, not near. And I have some interesting proof to back it up. And it's also interesting at the same time that they landed, all of these solar flares are popping off, okay, causing EMFs, which are potentially going to cause some earthquakes. Yeah, and that's just the beginning of what they have planned. Remember, the Anunnakians are the same as the Sumerians, are the same as the Aryans, are the same as the Moors. This is the silent transfer of power that they were planning all along to issue out their one world government, okay? So that they can issue out their plan for you to own nothing and be happy about it. This is the reason why they are separating you by nation. This is the reason for the mass exodus. And if you don't believe me once again, let's go to an interesting clip. Also interesting on their placement at a time where Palestine is just being pushed right now. Very telling. So yeah, the Tartarians are here, aka the Anunnaki. Yeah, they've been safe and sound this whole time. They weren't wiped out from existence. Okay, they weren't in hiding from anything, but they were working with them. They are the puppet masters. These are the people that Your Catholic priest, Pope, bends and kisses the feet. Yeah. And they're here. No coincidence on the timing. Right on time for that planetary conjunction. Right at the time when we're getting all these solar flares that they're causing, actually. Right at the time where the Leviathan is active, is moving, things are heating up. Okay, which is the reason why they did all that fake snow in the Arctic Black. I mean, what a time to be alive in the sci-fi episode.
So apparently,
I mean, I have noticed, but that they, stopped talking about 3-Eye Atlas, like ever since that comet or something they said passed by, they just stopped talking about all of a sudden. So what she was saying was lining up.
the lettuce was in the files, and they were talking about how people who use the lettuce are harder to manipulate because they question things more readily than someone who's consuming alcohol, and that's why alcohol is promoted and the lettuce is demonized. I just made a video saying it with the right words, and you could say alcohol all you want on here, no problem, but if I even try to say it.
Did y'all just hear what the CEO of Chipotle said, fool? Listen to what this man just said, bruh.
Learned that 60% of our core users are over $100,000 a year in income, in average household income. That gives us confidence that we can lean into that group in a more meaningful way, whether it's the solo occasion and or group occasions, to really drive meaningful transaction.
So this man saying most of the people that buy Chipotle makes over $100,000 a year. And he's saying since 60% of the users make over $100,000 a year, we gonna raise the prices. Where the fuck is this man getting that kind of data from? That nigga got that shit from out his ass.
Yep.
So what, a bowl costs what, like $12? This man talking about maybe moving it up to 15, 20. This man tripping, fool. Ain't no fucking way 60% of the users is making 100,000. This man welling just to bring his prices up. That's diabolical, fool. Rent already high. Gas already high.
Yep.
People get high. Now the burrito that was $12 finna be high. Shit like this you cannot make up, bruh. That's some greedy ass shit. Then he try to say, oh, it's for my employees. No, it's for your ass, nigga. If you use...
Bro, if they up that price on Chipotle, man, y'all still getting that bowls, bro? I can't be the only one, man. When you ask for the extra chicken, bro, and they yell it out, I be so mad. I'm like, bro, you really had to say that, bro? But yeah, he said 60% of Chipotle users make up $100,000 a year. I don't know where he getting that data from, bro. He need to review that.
Discord for anything, then you need to hear this. Because your personal data, your information, your messages are being sold to the feds and to AI. There's a company named Skype that was scraping data from over 620 million Discord users across roughly 14,000 servers. Not a rumor, not a glitch. They were scraping. We're talking about around 3 billion messages collected, archived, and packaged. And here's the wild part. For a small fee in crypto, somebody could search your username and your message history, and they can have that at the snap of a finger. We're talking about what you just said, when you said it, what servers you were in. Mind you, this same information was marketed to law enforcement, marketed to AI. Your conversation used as training data. Now let's pause for a minute. Let's remember that Discord built its reputation on community. Gamers, creators, private servers, closed groups. People talk different on Discord because it feels safe. They talk different than they do on Instagram because it feels contained. But if a third party can scrape and resell the data, then the container was never sealed. Now Discord says, quote unquote, that they've shut Skype down. Okay, but shutting the scraper down doesn't pull back 3 billion messages. That vault was open and those messages are gone. Once data is copied, it's copied. And once it's fed into AI system, AI doesn't unlearn. This isn't about Discord. It's about the illusion of privacy. You think you're talking to 200 people on a server, but in reality, you might just be talking to the feds. Or you might be talking to the future training model of some surveillance tool. Pay attention.
Bro, I don't give a fuck about that. Bohemian Grove is real.
When you really get ready to talk, I want you to look at this. I know that when you see this, you're going to think that I'm insane. I look sleepy. Because for 3 days, I've been up investigating this off and on. And y'all, everything we've ever been told is a lie.
Really?
These people have found a way to cross timelines, to cross generations, and remain. This video will get taken down, and I will probably get banned. But I'm going to tell you something. Nothing you have ever been told in this whole entire life is real. Nothing. They have rewrote everything to suit an agenda, to assume control. And the sooner you figure that out, the sooner we can get a plan of what we're going to do. This is the same person. And I know that don't even sound possible. But I can show you how. And I can show you why. Have a good day.
They built us in the silence of forgotten halls, where Tartarian stones still whisper through the walls. Children of a cold in the nursery of steel, fed with dreams designed to hide what's real. Beneath the frozen ground, the pyramids awoke. Floods erased the voices that the ancients spoke. We were talked about before the empty skies, unaware of the flames still burning inside. They changed our blood, they dimmed our sight, cut the stars from the truth of night, and through the dawn the signal hums, a veil of noise that numbs and numbs. Born after the reset, our sons breathing through the circuits of the chosen one. We forgot who we were, forgot where we came, and the custodians whispered, remember our name. Born after the reset, minds redesigned, bound by illusions that chain humankind.
It's all been manufactured, bro. Fabricated.
Oh, I've been hearing all this ruckus about, they done arrested the prince, the king, done locked up his own brother. Damn, I'm expecting Prince Charming shit. I'm expecting some young little whippersnapper. This old ass prince. Well, your old ass boy, don't call him Prince shit. That's just Andrew from now on, man. There ain't no Prince of shit, man. That nigga old as fuck. Nigga older than the king, probably. Former prince arrested on his 66th birthday in connection with investigation linked to Jeffrey Epstein. And Jeffrey got y'all fucked up. Your mama should have said, so if Jeffrey jump off a bridge, what, you gonna jump with him? Who is that right there, Andrew? You ain't supposed to be doing stuff like that when you the prince. I don't think so. What's the rules when you a prince? And that nigga right there should have been locked up just off them glasses alone. Don't nobody normal get glasses like that. Lock his ass. Oh, as soon as I seen them glasses, I would have said, come here, sir. Let me see your ID. Yeah. Turn around, sir. Put your hands behind your back. I know you did something. I don't know how to explain it, but he looked like the human version of that big crab thing from Monsters, Inc. You know, the boss, what they was doing with the kids, scaring them, getting their screams for energy. I don't try to be a genius, bro. This shit just, that mean his own brother. Sorry to let you know like this, Andrew, but you're going down for this. Prison is where you'll be, Andrew. Sorry, brother. Here we go in America. Nobody on the Epstein files is our brother. Look at us, making excuses. We ain't storming, we ain't mad, nothing. And this man own brother. He said, no more tea and biscuits for you, buddy. Not where you're going. Bloody hell, Andrew.
What is this about, y'all? Maybe you guys can help me understand what's going on here. So this guy goes to the 5 and below, right? And he's testing out these cups for lead. He's got his green spray and his little UV light going around touching these cups and seeing if they're positive for lead. And wouldn't you know it, none of the cups come back positive for lead except for the cups that have to do with black girls, y'all. Black girl magic. In the month of February, they're posting these, but the only ones that come back for lead are the ones that have to do with black girls.
Worry? Yeah, you really don't have to worry.
No lead, lead free, nope. Negative. Negative.
Negative.
Negative. Oh, something there. I thought that Five Below was going to be the first one not to have any lead, but I was wrong. Black Girl Magic, more like Green Girl Magic. Definitely has enough to glow, but it seems like it's only, wow. I'm confused about this. Is it all over the place, or is this just coming off because I'm flipping it? Oh wow, you can actually see it. Oh my gosh, you can see it flowing down the cup. Not the safest cup in the world.
So what is this about, y'all? It's 2026, and you still have them people coming after us. Why? What did we do to y'all? What did our women do to y'all, or even us? What did we do to y'all? Do y'all know what lead does to your body? Do you want to know why so many melanated women, and I heard men alike, do you want to know why y'all have anemia? Now, this is nothing new, because they've always been doing this type of stuff, regardless. But on Black History Month, you're advertising a brand new cup, and y'all did this to it, y'all put lead in it. This right here is crazy, y'all. And just the fact that he's even tripping off of this. We can never win by joining a system that was never created for us in the first place, y'all. We will never win. This is why we must starve the parasite. All I gotta say is, I'm gonna let the sun do the talking. That's it, bro. That's it. The shift is here, man. Let me know what you got to look at that jump, boy. That shit look like a square, boy. Look at that. Razingan ass son, boy. Look at this shit. The shift is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
About this photo. This photo was discovered by a single mother who recently bought a new phone. She came home, placed her phone on the table, and started watching TV. But soon after that, her son found the phone and asked to play with it. She agreed, thinking nothing unusual was gonna happen. But around 11 p.m. that same night, the mother decided it was time to go to bed. Strangely though, she found her son already in bed, which was very unusual for him. Normally, he'd want to stay up a lot longer. That's when she noticed her new phone was still in her son's hands. So she took it from him and unlocked the phone. At first, only seeing some minor changes. He changed the background on her phone and took a few pictures around the house, nothing too alarming. But since the photos seemed random, she started deleting them. Until she saw something that shocked her. This was the last photo on her camera roll, showing her son sleeping, but the photo was taken by someone else above him. Follow for more stories.
This girl went missing, and when they found her, she was not normal. There was a young girl named Mia who went missing. The whole town was searching, and her parents were doing everything to find her. People from other towns and states were even coming over to help. But on the 13th day of the search, Mia's parents were with a couple people searching some parts of the woods when they suddenly came across a cave. They then went inside and saw Mia sitting there smiling. Her parents then smiled in joy and couldn't believe they found her. But as they got closer, they noticed her eyes were completely white and her mouth and hands were covered in blood.
What she went through.
Most unusual deaths in human history. Anthony Hensley was kayaking across a pond in Illinois when he accidentally got too close to a swan's nest. While trying to row away, he fell off his kayak and the swan drowned him underwater. A 14-year-old boy from Texas was playing hide and go seek at 3 in the morning. While trying to run around, he couldn't see all that well and ran face first into a bull statue. Wanting to reap the benefits of cold exposure, Chelsea Aki Salvacion decided to try out cryotherapy. However, during her session, the machine was set incorrectly, causing all oxygen to be eliminated inside the chamber, suffocating her to death. King Henry I died after eating too many lampreys, a type of jawless fish.
This is why you should lock your door as soon as you get home.
Just staring at the camera, man. People like that are weird, bro. Are true weirdos, man. You see them on the camera, they just staring, not saying a word. Like, what do you stand in front of the front door for, bro? That's some bad intentions, man.
The parents of Joseph Augustus Zarelli, the young boy who was only known as the Boy in the Box for 65 years, have been identified. If you don't know the story of the Boy in the Box, I covered it in my Cold Cases Solved playlist or on episode 165 of my podcast, Inhuman. So Augustus Gus Zarelli and Mary Elizabeth Betsy Abel are believed to be the parents of Joseph Augustus Zarelli. Betsy would have been 21 years old when Joseph was born on January 13th, 1953. Relatives of Betsy submitted DNA for genealogical research, allowing Identifiers International to build out her family tree, and investigators contacted the 5 Able sisters, including Betsy, asking about who was pregnant when they were trying to identify Joseph's mother. The family said that the Able family only learned that the investigation was about the boy in the box 48 hours before the press conference, and they were stunned as they remembered hearing about the cold case when he was first found. Betsy's family say that she loved skating and dancing, and she swooned over Italian boys, and she loved Frank Sinatra and would wear out the needle on his records at her home in Philadelphia. She graduated high school in North Philadelphia in 1949. She had a daughter born in 1950 who she put up for adoption, and family members say she may have put Joseph up for adoption after his birth in 1953. Oh. Betsy worked as a cashier at the Goldman Theater and eventually married the manager of the theater, John Plunkett, and they had 4 children together, and Betsy passed away in 1991 after battling lung cancer. Family members of Betsy have said that they have no reason to believe that she was responsible for Joseph's death. The relative of Betsy that spoke a lot in this article said, "Betsy, no way in the world. There was no cruelty, no meanness or cruelty that swelled within her heart and soul." Gus, the father, was a concrete and stoneman, a hard worker in a proud family of Italian immigrants in West Philadelphia, and he went on to have 4 children. The attorney representing Gus and his children said each of his children is extraordinarily sympathetic to the death of this young boy and horrified by the events that are being discussed. However, until recently, they had never heard of any of this. They have never been shown anything that links their father or any member of their family to this. According to the attorney, the Zarelli family is investigating if there is any merit to Gus being the father, as they have been given very little information from the police. They've said that there's no evidence that Gus had any knowledge of this child. Gus Zarelli passed away in 2014 at the age of 87. At this time, the death of Joseph Augustus Zarelli remains an active homicide investigation, and they are continuing to try to find who did this to this young boy.
And that case has twists and turns, bro. From both sides of the family, they didn't even know what's going on, man. Tragic. It's just a tragic case.
This is the longest true horrifying story episode. This episode is worth the time. The story took place in Nador, Morocco in the year 2015. The story was submitted by Ilyas. Back in 2015, Ilyas was an 18-year-old Moroccan Muslim that lived in Norway. One night, Ilyas was back in Morocco visiting family, and he stayed up late watching a movie at home till 3 in the morning. The living room was very warm, so he got up to open the window for fresh air. As he was at the window, being at the 4th floor in that building, he looks down, and the street was dark and empty, but there was one man wearing black from head to toe with a hood covering his face. He wasn't sure why that man was outside at that time. He looked away, but then peeked one last time out of curiosity. When he looked at him again, the man had his hands on a building's wall. He was strangely just feeling the wall, and out of nowhere, the man vanishes through that wall. He rubbed his eyes in disbelief after what he just witnessed. Ilyas swears that there was no door in that spot. It was just physically impossible. He forgets about this after a while, and then flies back to Norway. 6 months later, in Norway, Ilyas experiences his first ever sleep paralysis, which in Islam is known as Jathum. He vividly remembers having a conversation with a dark figure, and his mom also witnessed him speak in his sleep. He woke up after the paralysis with swollen feet and rashes all over his body. They rushed to the ER, and none of the doctors could diagnose what caused his body to react that way. He was finally discharged after treatment, but after that day, Ilyas was never the same person. He always acted differently. He was antisocial. He was distant from people. And his mom always told him that he needed ruqya. A few months later, they fly back to Morocco for the next holiday season. He was always against his mother's ruqya idea, However, he decided to fight his thoughts and do it. He had a cousin that was also suffering, and she visited Al-Raqi in Morocco quite regularly. So they went together with both of their moms. When they reached, they sat down and waited for their session. Ilyas could hear the Raqi in the other room, and he felt extremely uneasy and started to sweat. The Quran recitation, the ruqya, the sounds, made him not even want to look at that direction. He was angry. He went outside for a moment to gain back his senses until their turn finally reached. The Raqi called them in and started. Ilyas's cousin immediately started reacting horribly when the Quran started. She was screaming so loud. Ilyas started losing senses throughout his entire body. He was sweating, he was unable to move, and he was shouting from fear. He does pray, and he does read Quran, but he was so confused as to why he was screaming. He felt like he was being tortured. The slightest pinch from the Raqi felt like it was a knife stab. It was very powerful, and this is where he felt a jinn's presence inside of him. The following night was the most horrific night for Ilyas. For a whole week, the man was not able to sleep alone, and he would get mentally abused by these demons haunting him. Weeks go by. Ilyas started getting demonic thoughts of harming his own family. He hated everyone. When he would look at his own sister, her face would seem distorted to him. He knows these beings are playing with his head. His whole life turned upside down. He would regularly think of harming his own family, but luckily, he never did. A few months later, Ilyas was back in Norway, and life was back to normal. He was relieved that he was in a good state of mind and that the horror was over. At the time, he worked at a local grocery store. After a Christmas celebration at work, which he did not participate in, it was late at night. He was walking one of his colleagues back home from work. She was a young woman, and she was scared to walk alone. After they reached outside her place, she asked him, "Where's that other girl that was with us?" "What girl?" Ilyas asked. "There was no one there. It was just you and I." She swore that there was another woman with black hair, pale skin, standing next to him the whole time, staring at Ilyas's colleague with anger. Even though this entity gave Ilyas a break, this jinn was still around, haunting everyone that has intentions towards Ilyas.
Damn. Could not catch a break. He went through all that, man. And at the end, it was still there with him, bro. It was just watching everybody he was interacting with. Just waiting to pounce. What do you guys think about that story, man? He always breaks down the jinn stories for us, so.
Julio Ramirez was enjoying a night out in Hell's Kitchen back in April, and then hours later,
him and his friends decided to go to this place called Hell's Kitchen. A lot of people go here to have fun, have a good time. It's a place located in New York. So this one particular night at around 7 p.m., he goes to this place with his friend Carlos. They will bar hop and go to different places, but then Julio takes this one specific picture. Then all of a sudden, him and his friend separated. Julio sends Carlos a text message, "Where you at?" Carlos said, "I'm inside." Julio said, "I'm outside." Julio told him, "Come out." I don't know around this time if Carlos wasn't even paying attention to his phone. They was trying to look for each other but could not find each other. But an hour later, Carlos said, "I'm home." "Where you at?" Carlos tell him, "Come to my place," but never receives a response back from Julio. Later that morning, still no reply. It's been a little while now. Carlos sent another message saying, "What happened? I thought we left together." He texted, "I woke up and I was like, Julio, and you wasn't even there." But when Carlos looked at his phone, he seen that Julio seen his message, but he never replied. Things get a little strange at this very moment. Carlos decided to look back at the messages and he realized around 3 a.m. Julio stopped sharing his location. Then another one of his friends he also stopped sharing his location with. He also stopped replying to her as well. Then that's when the messages went from blue to green, meaning that his phone is off and probably have died.
That's scary, man. They were bar hopping, bro, in Hell's Kitchen. Something happened, bro. That's where Daredevil from, bro. And I guess in the comics. Damn. I wonder what happened, man. I'm going to have to check that up. I'm going to have to check up on that. Be careful.
Have you ever heard of Purple Aki? If you're from northwest England, like me, then you'll have heard many stories about him from your mates. I won't attempt to pronounce his full name, and I'll leave it to the comments to explain why he's called Purple Aki. The story goes that he walks around Merseyside searching for men to discuss weight training with. He then asks to touch their muscles and asks them to squat him. In 2006 he was ordered by a judge not to feel people's muscles or to ask them to do squats. He was also banned from entering St Helens, Warrington and Widnes without the permission of the Chief Constable of Merseyside or Cheshire. In 2016, BBC Three released a documentary called The Man Who Squeezes Muscles, searching for Purple Aki. I think I'm safe.
So he would just go up to random people, asking them to squeeze their muscles and say, "Can you bench press me?" What would your response be? Just imagine, like, you out minding business, a random person coming up and asks you to squeeze your muscles and bench press them. It has to be like one of the top weirdest questions you can ask somebody. Whoa, man. People really have no shame.
Creepy video on YouTube of this man. Look at this video.
We got kind of tired of the mall and I brought her back to my place. And I know she hates cameras, Walter, but I'm gonna show you her anyway. You ready?
Then goes to his basement, opens the door, and reveals a girl screaming. She's locked up. And you have to realize, when people was looking at this video, they didn't automatically expect Kayla. They forgot about her in a way because it's been years. But when certain people see this video in the town saying it's Kayla.
You thought this was your daughter?
I sincerely, honestly thought that was my daughter in that video.
So the mom is looking at this video. She's trying to really, because it's her daughter. She knows her daughter. And she's saying that, this is possibly hiding my daughter. All right, so now as I'm watching this video, I see this YouTube channel and he gave like a clue in his video when this guy was talking. As you can see, the guy's talking in the video and there's like this purse in a Ziploc bag. And they believe that this is Kayla Berg's book bag purse. Not only that, a lot of people is believing that who is this guy and what is he doing with Kayla? And they do investigations.
The clues is right there in front of us, man. Just have to pay attention to it. You may be one of those, people, bro, who we can leave clues right in front of your face to see if you can catch it. People be so bold, man. He posted that on YouTube, didn't think nobody was gonna notice. People, we all need to do better as a whole. Seekers, if you guys made it with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up in this video, comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit that post notification bell so you're always get notified when I upload my next videos. You guys are gonna catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.